Hi everyone, Messi Coder back again with another live dev interview. This time I'm with the arcade legend himself, TurnTheGameOn. And I keep calling him Turn On The Game. I wonder if I'll ever get his name right. He makes this amazing arcade development kit for Unity. This is a long and very open and honest interview. It's actually one of the most open interviews we've had. It was shocking. If you want to be an asset store publisher, you need to watch this video and find out what the truth is like out there on the Unity Asset Store. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a second. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Turn the Game On. I keep saying, turn on the game.
You can turn the game on.
So, yeah.
Or you could turn on the game.
And I have to keep double checking that I haven't just butchered your publishing his name. I do apologise. I do apologise if I have said it wrong in all the times that I have spoken about you. But would you like to tell everyone who you are? So I get it right.
Well, my name is Steven, and I started Turn the Game On, and I make assets.
There you go. So everyone in chat, sitting at home around the world, make yourself comfortable, watching on your Androids and your Amazon mirrors and your Nexias. Please give a warm and messy welcome to Steven from Turn the Game On. See, I nearly just butchered it again. The creator of possibly one of the most exciting arcade racer kits for Unity, the arcade racer kit for Unity.
Thank you.
Welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much.
How is the audio for everyone? Everyone, welcome, Steve. Welcome to the welcome at Turn On The Game. Thank you, Freshman.
Turn it on.
Turn it on, baby. So I just was playing a little video of your asset store video promo that you've got there, and the video shows somebody driving around expertly, staying on track, avoiding crashing, driving fast, overtaking, looking very pro. I'm not like that. I just while we're chatting, I'm gonna play the demo scene while we talk in the background, just so people can see how bad I am. And Steve, I'm gonna share my screen with you on Skype.
Let's see how bad it is. Hopefully, it's not as bad as my mother drives.
In real life or in the game?
In the game, but we could also say in real life.
All right, let me just do.
No, I'm joking.
As long as she's not in the room, you're safe. Okay, hang on. Tell me when you can see my screen, buddy.
I can see it.
Fantastic. Okay. Everyone at home? I've still got the Christmas lights on, but I'm going to call them celebration lights because every day is a celebration. So let me load this up. This is, put exclamation mark arcade racer in chat. It is a bit pricey, I have to say. It isn't on the low end of the spectrum. It's a pretty complete complex asset. It's about $250 on the asset store. We got 2 copies to give away though, haven't we, Steve?
Yeah. Well, it's not really for somebody who's just learning. It's for the person who really wants to make a racing game. So I spent a lot of time doing like really logical thinking as I was programming everything. So I'm a programmer, so if I'm going to sell a kit and another programmer picks it up, I want him to be able to do what he wants to do, and that's basically what I took the time to do.
And we've had people coming on the video chatting with us about different mentalities they've got for selling their stuff. We've got people who come in low, say, "Oh, I'm coming in low. I want it to be affordable for everyone." And then you've got people who say, "Look, putting it in low damages the asset and it damages the asset store, but it also has an impact on the customer support factor as well." So there's a very important point you say that this is aimed at people who actually want to make a game rather than people who just want to sit there and buy a load of assets and
right
click the magic make my game button.
Yeah, and you know the asset has actually been out for a few years. The original racing game template. Oh wow, you got some frame rate. Maybe that's.
I think that might be
Oh, that's Skype
that's
actually.
Skype. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
you should be more concerned with me crashing into everyone.
So yeah, I actually like built the first iteration of a racing game template and released it about 4 years ago, and I just recently deprecated that asset, and this is the replacement for it. Um, so I've actually been working on like a racing project for maybe 5 years now. In the last 2 or 3 years, it's mostly been in my spare time. But when I was going to school, I was just studying and banging away at it. And by the time it was finished, I was like, yeah, I need to fix a lot of this stuff.
So
And that's basically where we're at now. So now we have the clean version of the template, and I'm working on finishing the feature set and then documentation, and then there's going to be a ton of video tutorials that show people how to use it.
Documentation. So are we talking about proper documentation as well as commented code, or is it,
More like an actual user manual that will explain how to use things. The way I write code, to me, I write code in a way where if I were to write a comment, it would almost say the exact same thing as the line of code says.
Okay.
So like I name my variables what they should be, etc. So if you're going into the code and you know how to code, you're going to be able to read it. That's basically my goal when I write code.
Come on, I nearly got my word.
You almost made it.
I almost made it, but now I'm so bad I've actually got myself jammed. Oh.
You took the corner way too hard. I actually made a function that resets your car. I have no idea what it is. Try the R key.
Okay, hang on. Return to game. Oh, there you go.
Oh, don't quit. Well, you can't quit because you're in the Unity editor. That'll only work in a built application.
Oh, yeah, true that. Okay, let's try this
Yeah,
again.
there we go. Yeah, somebody requested that feature and I put it in. I think that's why they requested it.
Okay, let's do this again. All right. I didn't do too badly on that one.
You almost won.
I know, and then right at the end, I just like, okay.
You took that corner way too hard.
Oh man,
you gotta slow down for turns, just like in real life.
To see, I don't slow down for turns. I used to live up in the mountains, and I would have to drive to windy, mountain roads to get to work. And I was building an office, so I literally was laying all the network cables, working with the foreman to do all of the layout and the desks and oh my word, in your face, stinky bums.
Take it.
Take that.
Night. There you go.
What a race. Why did I get no earnings? I got no earnings from that race.
Oh, this is just the Sunday practice. You have to actually go to the other race. I think you have to unlock it.
Oh.
So hit continue and go back to quick race and
man, I felt like I did so well. Okay.
Oh, the next race is going to have 2 more cars.
Okay, let's do this. Select this race. Yeah, so I was needing to get to work because I was working as I do now, like overtime, weekends and stuff. And I would drive the windy, windy mountain roads. I was like, oh, I'm late, and be going a bit faster than I should be, and keep forgetting that slow down into corners. And when you're doing that on the mountain roads, you kind of realize that you shouldn't be doing that. So, just like real life, I'm a bad driver, and that's where my wife tells me that I'm not allowed to drive anymore. And she's sitting there in chat listening, going, no, I've never said you're not allowed to drive anymore. I want you to drive, so I don't have to. Like, no, darling, you complained once about my driving. Therefore, I take it as I shouldn't really be driving anymore.
That's it. You're cut off.
That's it. So same as like Warcraft. I'm not allowed to play World of Warcraft anymore because she complained about my playing. I would sit there screaming and shouting at her, going, help me! Help me! And she'd be like, stop running into mobs!
I thought she was going to say, I'm not even playing.
I lost that badly. So you don't just make this as a kit though, because as you're saying, like you've been playing about with this for many a year.
Well, this is like, I guess a lot of publishers, when they make a new version of their product, they call it version 2. This would be version 2. I just rebranded it.
I'm going to go in between. Look at me. I'm going slow and sensible. So, racing car games. Let's talk about getting this out there, making your game, publishing it, putting it on the store, on your Google Play stores and iOS stores. Oh, what guy I got into a side mode. So, oh my God, crashing into this. We had a brief chat before about the pitfalls of once you have a game out there in public. I won the race. Did I win the? Oh my God, I won the race. I'm sorry, I'm just completely distracted. What good advice it is for people when they're making something. So like, if I went and bought this now, made a game with it. What? And then I completely changed my game and uploaded it. There's a nice little story that I just want to share. What you told me.
Yeah,
because I never thought about it until you told me, and then I was like, oh my word.
So that was actually when I first got into Unity, and I really had no idea what I was doing. I'd probably been using Unity for about a year at the time, and I made a racing game and I put it out there, and pretty quickly it was actually successful on Google Play. I would call it successful just being an amateur.
So it was on Android only?
It was only on Android, and it was out a few months, and I got up to 125,000 downloads.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, there were like 3,000 people playing it at a time. I remember looking at the analytics. I was like, holy cow, this is really cool. Let me update it. And Unity 5 had just come out, and I built it with Unity 4. And I went through and I did a bunch of stuff in that update, things that I shouldn't have done. And when I published it, what people liked about the game was not there anymore.
Oh, man.
And I couldn't put the old version back on Google Play. So it basically died because I killed it.
So why wouldn't they let you put the old version back?
I think it had something to do with... So I don't do a whole lot on game publishing or app publishing anymore. But I think it had something to do with me updating the Android SDK. Basically, I updated the app to a forward version of technology, and you're not allowed to go backwards. They said, no, you uploaded it with this version. You can't go back. And I don't know if that had to do with like the implementation of the ads or analytics, or if it was the Android SDK version. So one of those things in there just wouldn't allow me to go back. And yeah, so the actual application, it just withered into nothing. And I learned from that, because I said, well, I changed so much, and I need to make my games easier to change. And I think no matter what, I learned from that experience. And I've been hesitant to build since then.
Really? That's actually put you off going back onto the store?
Yeah, and that's why I focus so much time on the template, because the template is going to be what I use to actually make games. But I want my games to be easy to update, easy to change. And basically everything that I had a hard time with my first go about 4 years ago, I've been trying to fix. But I've also been working full time, and that kind of takes away from the personal development. Yeah. So I basically put all of my effort into this racing kit, which is what you're playing now. Most of the last year or so has actually been setting up the AI and getting them to behave the way that they do.
The AI is really good, I have to say. I came close to overtaking him right at the end and crashed spectacularly. So just say again, because we just had in chat, BitGame is saying, is it mobile friendly? So yeah, the original game was on Android. So this version that I'm playing now, all the additions that you've done, it's still usable for mobile.
Yeah, so like the original version that I made that we talked about a few minutes ago, that was basically the core version of Racing Game Template when it was released. And since then, I've just reiterated through the code over and over again, and just made as many optimizations as I could. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to now is ECS, but until that's
God. Yeah, both the word ECS and the driving made me groan then.
You're like, no, he said it. Too much stress.
Oh my gosh! Did you see that ending? Right at the last millisecond, I snuck in between them and I won it. Sorry, distracting you there.
I saw it. It's great when you do that. You beat him by less than 1/10 of a second.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Oh my word.
Oh yeah, actually a little bit more than 1/10 of a second. My math's not good right now.
I'm saying that was rigged. That was not rigged, buddy. That was pure skill. I'll be happy once ECS has stability. Exactly, bit gamey, and that's why you get a little bit of a groan, because Unity give us so many promises about ECS, and we're just sitting here waiting for it to be stable and not constantly changed, and to see, is it actually, when is it going to be properly released? And you mentioned something to me, Steve, when we were chatting. Is like Unity showed us the potential of this, but they showed us an alpha.
Yeah, that's my impression of it. Like, we saw it working in their Unite demos, and it looks amazing. So I'm sure that it's going to be something that they'll follow through with. And to me, it's going to change the way we build games and applications. Like right now, if you load up my open world scene, I have 100 AI vehicles, but they showed an open world scene where they had thousands, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So I think they'll continue to work on it. I think they'll perfect it. It's just that when we saw it, it was like, they're like, hey, we got it working. Let's show the world so we can get people to use Unity. And like, you can't fault them for that.
They keep on doing it though. It's not the first time they've gone, look at these amazing things that we're working on, like Kinematica. And they make out that, this is months away because what you're watching now is fully working, and we've got these great teams working on everything together. And then it kind of like fizzles out.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way from all of those. Like, definitely don't use the latest builds. I'm glad they have LTS versions now, the long-term support, because like if you're building an application or a game, you know which version to use. Use the LTS, because that's like 2018.4 LTS. It's the most stable that you're going to get. You bring it into 2019 point whatever, you're going to find some bug that's not present in 2018.4. And previous to that, I don't think they really had LTS. I don't know if they did LTS for 2017. I don't recall. But I feel like that's the way they are. Everything that you see on these conferences, it's all the stuff that's coming. Like, look, it's here, but it's not here.
Mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors, man.
You're not going to get to use this for 2 years, but
if you're lucky,
think about it. Think about what you're going to do in 2 years from now. You could start using it.
They're saying, look, and we're saying this now because Unite's going on next week as well in Copenhagen. So it does feel like they go, look at all this great stuff that's coming in Unity. Please don't go to Unreal or Lumberyard or CryEngine just yet. Wait for us. Don't worry, we're just around the corner. Trust us. Stick with us. That's what it feels like.
I'm glad they say that though, because I've been developing with Unity for like 6 or 7 years, and I've experienced my fair share of frustrations, and those do make you think about what the other options are. But knowing what's around the corner can help you basically deal with it a little bit longer until what you want is here. I don't know if Unreal has ECS. I don't know if it's coming. I don't really watch their conferences, but knowing that ECS is around the corner, that basically tells me, hey, I could build something really big and complex and sprawling that can scale up, and that kind of is exciting.
And it's positive to hear that they are making changes, they are investing, they are trying to improve the engine. They're not just like they had done in a while. It was just like cosmetic changes here and there. These are huge, significant, world-changing changes that they're doing.
Yeah, I feel like that we're in the middle of a storm right now, and like the package manager was a rough transition. I I think every project I was working on while they were implementing the package manager was just really hard to deal with. There was always some kind of bug relating to it, and but now that the package manager is here, we can see that the future of Unity is changing, and I kind of love it, but I hated it the first time I saw it. The same thing with Unity Hub.
Oh,
Like they gave us Unity Hub, and we couldn't like if you deleted a project, your project would stay there. And I remember asking on the forum, I was like, I can't delete my project, and they're like, yeah, we don't know if we're gonna add support for that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous. How do you even publish this way? But they fixed it in the recent months, and I think that just goes back to like them putting stuff out there a little too early.
We got a question in chat. I think Sengoku's going to have an aneurysm if I don't ask it. He wants to know, could you use this for a horse racing game?
Yeah, I mean, if you so here's the thing. If you have some Unity development knowledge, like you understand what all of the different components do, and you have C# scripting experience, you can basically make references to any of the components you need and make the changes you need. So the way I set up the system, the race system, for example, that scene will actually work completely on its own. You don't need any other part of the template. So you open the scene, and all of the settings come from scriptable objects. So you're going to have the AI cars, and if you understand how to make your horses move and follow like point to point, you can swap out the AI, but I wouldn't recommend that, and that's not what I built this for. But if you wanted to put that's basically the challenge, is understanding how to take a car and swap it to a horse. But that's not what I really built it for. The race tracking system, like the logic that tracks it, that will work. So you put a horse controller in, and you could race the horse against the cars. Now, if you have the experience to set up AI horses, then that's where you're able to make a horse racing game with this asset. So you have to basically use your own AI solution, because I don't have a horse controller.
What system I seen? I've just loaded up here. This AI promo demo racetrack with pit lane.
Oh, I actually want to remove this from the asset. If you press all of those buttons, all of those cars will go from the lane that they're in. At the bottom of the screen, car 1, 2, 3, 4. They like hit all of those, and you'll notice that they're changing lanes. So this is a system that somebody requested, but I don't love what I did with it. But it was an example. The cars are going to come back around. It's a really long course. This was a bad demo. But once they come around, you could have left it play, and they would have came, and they were all going to stop in their dedicated pit stop lanes and then return to the track. So it's cool, but yeah, it's just not my favorite demo.
This one is multiple lanes with 16 cars.
Yeah, so if you select the well, I don't know, maybe you have to turn on gizmos in the top right. I might have disabled them for the demo. But yeah, these guys are basically just going between. Yeah, there you go. So now you can actually see what they're doing. So they're always going for the waypoint that's in front of them, and the volume sensors on the side, those are basically detecting what's around them. So as they get closer to each other, you'll, like maybe when they start turning, doing that sharp 90-degree turn, you'll see they start detecting each other. And when they do, if they're within a threshold, they're going to change into the lane that's next to them if they have a junction configured. So each of these waypoints, you can see where the junctions are. Those are the yellow arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically all it is. I probably, this was the original demo, the first demo I did with the new AI setup.
BitGame is asking, does it use Cinemachine?
No. But you can use Cinemachine if you're willing to set it up. I have a custom camera controller script that basically it just follows the camera and does some dynamic rotations based on the player input.
Does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Well, you got a night and a day and a skid trail test. Like the game thing. He doesn't want to know. Doesn't want to see what skid marks a horse would leave in a horse racing game. Those skid marks would be quite stinky. So what's...
Now you could actually probably turn off the gizmos so you don't have those big things. So the spacebar is what would skid. So driving and skidding on the different surfaces would produce a different texture. So you get the black on the asphalt, and if you skid on the grass, it'll be like, should be green or something.
There you go.
And they'll transition as you drive if you hold it while you're going over multiple areas.
Oh, if I could drive well. Yay, there.
It doesn't do a great transition, but it's good enough.
Are you going to add drifting? All those drifting games that people are doing these days?
So the thing about this car controller is it's a basic car controller. Like, it was originally built up from the standard assets. So somebody could take the standard assets controller and they could build out all of these features if they want. Knowing that it has all of the basic stuff, which is wheel colliders, and it has a rigid body for the vehicle. So you can adjust the friction settings to create the type of drift simulation you want. I've tried to do some things and make certain people happy, but everybody seems to want a different type of vehicle. And more often than not, they basically say, I want it to be like RCC or something like that. So actually, this kind of ties into that horse racing question. You can replace the player car with an RCC car, and that's something that is able to be done. Like, if you go down a little bit farther in the project view.
Yeah, let's go back in.
Let's find the... So in the data folder.
Here we go.
Not that one. Not this prefab. So down in the lower left corner of your screen, open the data folder.
Yeah.
Expand that folder. And then go into, I think there should be a templates folder in there.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Standalone.
Yes. So double click on that templates folder and open that up. And then
here we go.
So these are all of the settings that are used for the standalone project. Now, if you were to click on the player vehicle selection settings, it's near the bottom, right above the race data.
Yep. Are you is this? You got my Skype on?
Oh yeah, I'm actually watching.
Yeah, do it from the Skype, and then you've got.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and ping that vehicle prefab. And now if you select that vehicle and open that.
I don't want to lose that one because I'll just play around with that. Which one was it? This one here, yep.
So if you scroll to the bottom of this prefab, this is basically all that's required. Actually, on the top level, but in your inspector, scroll to the bottom on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, I'm just looking over.
Oh yeah, there's tons of stuff configured. So like if you were using mobile, obviously you would want to turn some of this off.
So this is the little man sitting inside.
Yeah. He actually has his own prefab too, so you could drop him into other car controller, like from other publishers. So you could put him into RCC, you could put him into NWH or EVP.
Damn. All right, so if we go back over here, so down. If I can look, let's collapse these. While we're doing this, we just got BitGamey asking: is the skid mark a texture with the alpha turned down so you can see the terrain material beneath it?
You could adjust it. Yeah. So I don't think it's turned down super low, but there is alpha and you can see what's underneath it. Yes. So that script right there is basically it. So this car, in order to run in the template, all it needs is that game template player script. So one of my near future goals is to basically take other car controllers from other publishers, and like anything that needs to happen in the game template is going through that script. So if you take another developer's prefab and put that script on it and assign the new prefab to the selectable vehicles, you can basically use an RCC car as the player car.
Hang on, all I need to do is stick this script on another prefab car and assign it back into this, and we're done.
In short explanation, yes. Now keep in mind my car has all of the things that I need. So like when the race starts, my car is in the correct state. That car needs to be put in the correct state where you can't use the player input. Like if the race hasn't started, you shouldn't be able to drive. So that script is what basically triggers all of that stuff. So the content that gets disabled when you're in the garage, the content that gets disabled for the pause menu, all of these settings are the settings that are important to the player object in the game kit. So as long as you account for all of these settings, whether you need them or don't, figure out what's missing. Like obviously the RCC uses a completely different UI canvas than I would use. Like my UI canvas wouldn't work with the RCC car for mobile, for example.
What about all this other stuff that's up here? This is just for the IK, for the little man.
No, this is actually the vehicle controller.
Ooh.
The little man. If you go one object down in your hierarchy, toggle that, collapse that. Yep. Or actually, yeah. So in vehicle components, that's where all the interesting stuff is. So you could collapse the colliders, and then next is the avatar rig.
There he is.
So one level below him is the actual. You still want to have avatar open, so you could expand that. But there's a controller. The race driver is the controller. This is just a joint that helps him move around a little bit. So if you select the child of your currently selected object.
The race driver?
Yep. Now this is basically this is the avatar. So he has an animator and he's driven by IK. And you could ping the top reference, the avatar settings. And yeah, those are the settings that are used for the avatar that are controllable. So it has a lot of basically fake stuff built in to try to make it look real or as real as possible. I would really like to rewrite this avatar.
Why is that?
Mostly because I wrote it 3 years ago, and I think I could do a better job.
Yeah.
When I look at my work, I'm so hard on myself. I say it looks horrible, but I think it does the job.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I didn't realize there's so much going on in this. Well, you'd expect it. It's a high-priced asset, so you'd expect that there's a lot going on. But so it's silly of me to say I didn't realize there's so much going on. But there's a lot in here. But how difficult is it then to like to chuck in? If I've got now another car, just chuck it in and away I go.
We could probably do it in a few minutes.
Shall we?
Yeah. It's actually been a long time since I've replaced the car.
So this is going to be fun. What are we going to break?
Yeah.
Let's do this then. Let's go crazy.
I mean, in essence, it's actually really simple. So, the first thing you should do is, I guess we want to put a new car into the racing template, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to that first scriptable object that you had, the the player vehicle selection settings.
Okay, let me download a car in first.
Okay.
So that'll be a good idea. So I had to pop into. I had one selected. So somebody give me an exclamation mark. Low poly sports. What was it? Low poly sports. Hey, Mills League. Low poly sports car. Exclamation mark low poly sports car. There you go. So this is Pro 3D models, and it says that it's compatible with this, that, and the other in the kitchen sink. So let's stick it in.
That has interior. That's mostly the biggest thing that we would like. For the most part, you want to be able to see the driver, so you want to have some transparent windows.
Yeah, I'm not sure that does have an interior. I did see another one that did. The one that I sent you earlier.
Yeah, that one could probably work. I've for all my tests, I've used T-Bull cars. I don't know if he has a free car.
T-Bull.
T-Bull, B-U-L-L.
Don't know what that is. Is he good?
I like his cars. They're not bad. I think they're about $5 each or so. And
yeah, my kids need to eat, dude. So I'm not going to be buying more cars.
Well, I'm not telling you to buy his cars. I think he might have a free one. Those are the ones that I've done.
All right, I'm popping over to the store. So I'm going free cars. Hang on, let's go. Let's do this. Here you go, chat. So free cars. What do we see in free cars? Which ones look like we can use them? Oh, there was the other guy. This one down here.
That one's not going to be great. I've tried those because the thing is his wheels are really close to each other, so you'd have to adjust the physics settings a bit.
We can't use these ones.
You can, I mean, but it doesn't really match the current. So like the car that I have is very close to real world scale, and that is not.
Yeah, this is cartoony.
Yeah. Well, not only that, the wheels for that car are really close together, like the front and back. So it would affect the physics of it, which is something you need to adjust. Maybe what's that flat style vehicle pack?
Where was that?
Off to the right. There's a buggy down there, and then there's a flat vehicle pack right below
it. Oh, here you
go. I think either of those might work because they look like they have.
Oh, these look cute.
Yeah, try that Jeep. That Jeep looks like it could probably work.
All right, let's do that. Add to my assets. Flat style vehicle pack. All right, let's do this. Flat style vehicle pack. Open in Unity. Open in the editor. Let's see what it does. Is Unity going to crash? Oh, free truck! Distant Temple says, thank you, Freshie. You picked up on it. I appreciate that. Right, let's import it, stick it in, and away we go. You do make more than just racing car assets, though, don't you, Steve?
Yeah, I have a few other ones. The dialogue system, that was one of the first things I wrote. I think I actually wrote that before I made a racing game template.
What made you want to do a dialogue system?
I wanted to make games, and I got into programming first because I knew if I couldn't program, I was going to have a hard time making games. I grew up with JRPGs, like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, and that was basically all that was needed in a JRPG besides the battle system. So I was like, if I could create a dialogue system, I could create almost any game I want. And I did it, and then I never made a game.
Well, you did. You made your racing car game, but just not using that dialogue system.
Yeah. And then I made a timers and clocks asset. That's pretty simple and self-explanatory.
I wonder if we've got. I'm just going. I want to play about with your clock and your chat thing, but I just want to chuck this in. This one says it's got a driver in it. Okay, I'm gonna make a new one. I'm gonna grab your left steering because
no, don't go there. Go to the standalone folder.
go to the standalone to that one.
Yeah,
Go straight in.
You have a prefab variant, that car2 game template.
Yeah,
that's the one we want to use. So let's go back to the race data and put him back in there.
But okay, he's your vanilla though.
That's okay.
All right.
So we'll have player cards 0, 1, and 2 in there.
See, look, he's fine now. Wiggler's not jumping about the place.
Okay, so now let's just go and swap out that art again. Take 2.
Okay. You sure?
So I'm sure. So
all right, I'm going to chuck him in. There's our vehicle.
I think it's going to try to open that original prefab again.
Let me just create an empty in there. So let me create an empty in there.
Okay, so try to drag and drop your model in there.
All right, this is good. This is, look, everyone at home. This is
we're
what
serious
you came
now.
For. This is what you came in for. You came in not to see everything working perfectly. You came to hear about stories of upgrading from Unity 4 to Unity 5. And how many hundreds of thousands of downloads on the Play Store?
Only 125,000.
Okay, 125,000 downloads.
And then I killed it.
And then he killed it, everyone. This is the cautionary tale. You're talking to a man who you could be listening to his stories and learning so much in life of what not to do and what to do. Take advice from this.
Don't just walk. You have to look.
Exactly. And if you ever want to make a dancing car, you're learning how to do that just now. So
I don't know if we can reproduce that though.
Well, you know what they say. If you can't reproduce the bug never happened.
No, it happened. It's permanent in internet history now.
So here it is. I'm gonna hide you. And
that's it. I would just leave it like that for right now. I would save that prefab and I would press play and I would make sure nothing weird is happening.
Let me at least put the car in the right place. Okay, so turn off his collider. You know what? I'm going to delete that collider. Remove it. Bang, gone. That's how we roll. So make sure, yeah.
You could actually unpack that prefab completely.
You could do. There you go.
I don't know if it's superstition, but I try to do that on everything that I use before I make it into a prefab.
How is it monetized? Good question. So how are you getting your money?
From this asset?
Yeah, no, from the game.
Oh, I don't.
So you didn't add any like in-game ads and stuff like that?
Oh, how was it monetized?
Yeah.
Yes, it was ads. So I had a banner ad. I think it was just always on. I don't remember. And then there was a full screen ad after each race. So now we actually have the car here. We just got to hook up the wheels. So we could try that again.
Now, do you think hooking up the wheels is going to make it bounce?
It better not.
Like, did you see that dirty bug? It just ram into the side of me.
Yeah, they don't care. They're gonna ram you. The traffic vehicles, those are respectful.
It's like watching Prince Philip drive. They've got no respect whatsoever.
Now, if you go to the open world, the AI vehicles there will stop for you. They won't ram you. They're a little bit more respectful.
All right, we're back into our variant over here. Now.
So you want to select the parent?
So
the player 2?
So there's our Sengoku evil joke. He's an old man, leave him alone. He apologized to that lady. I'm allowed to say it, Sengoku, I'm British. I pay my taxes. I'm a monarchist. I'm allowed it. Okay, back left. Back left. I'll stick it in there. Let's stick that one in there as well. The question that people are too polite to ask you is, did the game make enough money off the Play Store from 125,000 downloads to buy a house?
Yeah, right. I don't even know what you need to do on the internet to be able to get enough money to buy a house nowadays. I think we all missed that boat.
Yeah.
But it made about $100 a month before I killed it. I don't know how much I ended up making. I probably only made about $500 from it. But what I did was, when I made it, I was also doing YouTube videos because I was excited about learning Unity, and I think that played a contributing role in the download number.
Oh, so that was promoting it.
Yeah, so like I don't do a lot on YouTube now, but people actually stopped subscribing. I had about 12,000 subscribers at my peak, but I just couldn't handle YouTube and work and asset store development, and trying to make a game. There was just too much, and you have to pick what you want to do. So YouTube died too. But now I just post tutorials on there and updates for my work. Maybe one day I'll use it again.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Alright, we're saving this. Now, this is where it's going to start jumping. The return on ads is typically awful. AdMob seems to make more than Unity ads, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
There you go.
It's still doing it.
It's still doing it. It's still doing it. I think I know what it is.
I'm really curious what it is. I would actually try pulling them up. I think what's happening is it's spawning below the ground.
Well, the wheel ones? No, we put the wheels in the middle.
No, it wouldn't be here. So go into your garage scene. So exit out of this prefab.
Hang on, one sec. What was that? What did that used to be? Discard those changes.
I have a feeling the colliders are spawning below the ground.
0.6.
That's my guess.
Your car is a drilling machine now. 0.6.
I've actually never seen that happen, but I haven't tried swapping models. So my guess is it's spawning below the ground.
That's where it used to be. It was there with a 0.35. So if I put that back how it was. That's back how it was when it was happy.
Oh yeah, so we did run it and it was happy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think I know what the badger is.
So go into that scene.
One sec.
Because I think if you just raise the spawn point.
When we put that collider, when we got rid of this collider, we did that align. You know, that align was naughty.
I think it's the spawn point. We just need to pull that spawn point up in the garage scene.
All right, let's go back in the garage scene. What? It's doing it in the road though, dude.
Well, I think that spawn point's also low too.
Ah.
Like these spawn points were literally set up just for this car. I didn't put them any higher or anything.
Okay.
So my gut is kind of telling me that they're spawning below the floor, and that's just triggering some kind of collision.
Where's the garage? Vehicle select menu.
Yes.
There you go.
It was called the garage in the old template.
The old days.
Olden days.
All right, here's a little badger.
Pull it up. Yeah, maybe like a little bit higher.
Well, let's just go crazy.
Yeah. And you should be able to just press play in this scene.
Ah, okay. Let's see. Extra rigid body somewhere. There you go.
Yep. That's what it was. And you know, I like a half hour. I said,
Look, he's wiggling. He's loving
I
it.
said it's not going to do it.
Oh, the other ones hate it now.
Oh, that's the old one.
Yeah, the old ones are like, you know what? I hate you.
No, that's the one that you made.
No, that's the
Yeah, you made one. Weird.
Oh, I didn't. I changed them both of them, didn't I? Yeah. You're right. You're right. There he is.
So now, if you go into the race scene and you pull those spawn points up above the ground too, it should work in the race scene.
Hang on it. Why is the old one bouncing if the spawn point's raised up?
I don't know which setting is different, but what I can tell you is if you replace that Warbler car with the actual original one, it should not. Car 0, yeah, it shouldn't bounce anymore.
I don't know why it's bouncing, but if you completely ignore it, everything's fine.
Yeah, just like
it.
Look at something else. Anything else.
Just ignore the man behind the screen. There's nothing to see here.
Why are you fixated on that detail?
There's nothing to see, children. Move along. Okay. Let's now.
You could actually play. You could press play from this scene.
I want to fix the.
Oh yeah,
the racing. So yeah. Let's go back to which one? Quick race, open world racing, quick race 0.
Yep. So you'd probably need to do the same thing to the open world if you wanted to drive that car around the open world.
Yeah.
So all of these spawners, I would just grab all of them and move them all up.
Can I just raise up the whole spawn points parent like that?
Yep.
Let's do that, and then they're just gonna bounce.
You could probably just press play right in that scene too.
Oh, I've already left.
I'm pretty sure all of the scenes will support you playing from them. Like you might not have full functionality, but you should be able to load it.
I raised it a little bit too high. They've gone into the moon.
I've seen people make games where all of their cars do that, and that one's broken again. He was working.
As soon as I removed his collider, and I moved the wheels again.
Why'd you move the wheels again?
Because the wheels are in the wrong place.
That's okay. At least he wasn't dancing.
I broke it. Now I know how you felt like with your game. I'm sorry to keep on dwelling on that.
I felt a little worse.
Like they were speaking to you again. Okay, so look, it's these naughty colliders. I'm telling you, these colliders are evil. So the spawn point is well above the ground. Do you think he's a little man? Do you think he's the little man? If I put these back to in position of 0.6 where he was.
It could be because the vehicle collider itself on the old model was lower. So try raising the guy up.
So where is he? Here he is. Let's put Kevin up high. Kevin, you're up here, mate.
Kevin.
Yes.
Interesting name.
Yeah. And you know what? Do we have any colliders on the dashboard?
Nope. No other colliders. The only colliders I have are in that area where it says IKD colliders.
Okay. So I like how you've got them named. Helpful. All right, let's put that wheel back there. It is always Kevin. It is always Kevin.
Kevin, if you were causing this ruckus.
Yeah. Slap Kev.
I don't know what we're going to do with you.
Kevin's like, I'm innocent, yo. I'm innocent. Kevin's upset. Let's call him Henry. Henry, after Prince. I turned that collider off. And
Try to...
if I put him back to 0.6, right, and I put him back to 0.35.
So what I always like to do when I experience a bug is I pause the editor and then I press play, and then I observe the first state that it's in.
Okay.
Well, it's working, so.
So let's pause that.
No, we could actually just go ahead and play that. That should work now.
Yeah, but it's working, but I feel a little bit dirty. You know what I mean? It's working, but I feel like we may need a shower to cleanse ourselves of how we got it to work.
Well, I think so, because the colliders are still not where we want them, right?
Exactly. It's working, but we feel somewhat dirty in ourselves. So the wheels are in the right place, but they're the wrong size. Now I'm going to turn off.
So select the wheel right now.
Yeah, let's go. Well, let's go to the your colliders. Let me first thing. I'm just going to turn off this body here. He's still fine. And we've got our wheels. And
where are they? I don't see them right now.
They're hiding. Oh yeah, you cheeky little minx. There they are.
So right now they're touching the ground.
They're touching the ground. They're good. However, when we make them bigger, and we raise them up, nothing static. Why are they?
I don't think the collider. I don't think the colliders move. You might have to hit frame skip.
There you go. Okay, that's weird.
I think it was still spawning below the ground with one of those colliders, and it was just causing issues. That's my take on it.
Shall we try that again?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Is everyone ready at home? Are you all ready? Are you ready for this? Are you all ready for dun 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 dun? Okay.
We got to get like a band in here. I think they'll do it a little bit better.
It's so true. I have to say, we are going to give away a copy of this, aren't we?
Yeah, two
copies of this. 2 lucky winners. Also, we're going to play about with your NPC and your times and clocks. What is, because your times and clocks is used in this asset, you said?
No, it's something you can use with this asset.
Ah, okay.
Like you could use it to, so this template's designed to give you all of the fundamental pieces you need to create your racing game. But the timers and clocks will help you create gameplay in your racing game. Because you could set up timers and trigger events when the time's up, etc. And NPC chat allows you to create basically trigger zones. Hey, there we go. And Kevin...
Do you know what I did? I raised the parent of the collider, not the colliders.
Well, at least it's working.
So there you go.
Yay.
And I've got a big arrow stuck in my head.
Yeah, that's a big vehicle.
He is big, isn't he? How is the camera? Oh, whoa, come on! Oh!
Wow, that looks fun, actually.
Oh!
Looks a lot cooler being higher up than
yeah,
them.
It's like I'm dropping the kids off at soccer practice.
They're just ramming each other.
Get out of my way! Joshua needs to get to soccer practice. That's awesome.
It's 4:04.
Let's go in the open world. Jeffrey drives my U-boat. Jeffrey drives my U-boat? What does that even mean, fresh meat? Ah, in celebration of us doing this, should we do a raffle? Should we do a raffle in celebration that we got the car working? Honestly, everyone in chat, given that we made some silly mistakes with the collider and we forgot to drag in the actual mesh itself of the wheels, it was really straightforward to add a vehicle in.
And we didn't move the spawn points.
We didn't move the spawn points on this world, so it literally was just the parent collider.
I think the spawn point in this scene is slightly higher than the other scenes. That's my guess there.
Oh, dang! I am such a bad driver. Honey, maybe we should send my driving license back. I think this is my wife. When I was playing this earlier, just driving around, and I was testing it. My wife and I said, "Look, I'm really I need to practice on this demo scene a little bit more." My wife went, "Oh, learn to drive." Which is a nice little. Then she just walks out of the room. A nice little throwaway comment. Just chuck it in there as I'm sitting it. By the way, we're waiting for these lights to change. Are they going to change? Let's leave that going while we pop over.
They will change. I think they're on like 15-second or 30-second timers. I didn't really go through and set them up with great timing.
You should have used your timing asset.
Oh, the timers work. Like, they're configurable. What I mean is, I didn't set up realistic timing sequences. Like right now, the light's red and there's no cars at the intersection.
I'm sneaking something into chat to see if people notice. Ah, they've noticed. You get exclamation mark raffles to win a copy of this amazing kit from Turn On The Game or Turn The Game On or whatever he wants to call himself.
Something. He's some developer.
It's some developer. His name's not Kevin or Joshua. It's Steve or Steven. Would you prefer, Steve or Steven?
Either. Steve's good.
Here you go. Steve. Exclamation mark raffles in chat. You need to be a follower on Twitch. It's free to be a follower, but if you really do love us, then you would also pop over to YouTube, do an exclamation mark YouTube in chat and do a free sub on there. I'm not too sure if I think there is. It's still September, so you can subscribe on Twitch for $2.50. You get VIP access in the Discord and you get to download the tutorials that I've managed to put on there for my YouTube videos, and also we do sub streams where we play games together. Dang. See, I just crashed into the bloke. He should get out of his car and start screaming and shouting at me at this point.
I think he's just like sitting there and pretending like it didn't happen.
It's going, is that a large cartoon vehicle behind me that keeps on ramming into my car?
Oh my god, it's a good thing it doesn't cause damage.
Oh, that was going to be my next question to you, is damage. Are you going to add any damage into these cars?
Probably not, because so anybody who uses this, they're gonna customize it, and I think there's other systems that can go in and do that type of work, and I think there's different ways to do it, and depending on what platform you're targeting, what kind of game you're trying to build, you're probably going to want a really
something bespoke for you.
Yeah, something specific. You're not going to want whatever generic solution I would put in. I did some experimenting with it. It's just not something I want to put in because I don't want to support that.
We have got a handbrake turn though.
Yes.
Oh no, guys! Oh, this is too much fun. Oh dear. Do you know what it reminds me of? It was an old game on the Amiga. I'm not sure if it came out on PC. It was Formula One. What was it called? Formula One Grand Prix. I think it might have just been that was its name. And it was, oh, Christian, thank you for the follow. It was a polygon-looking racing car, Formula One racing car game. It was so difficult. and you had to play it with invulnerability mode on, because one little tap and that was it. Your Formula One car was falling apart. So what I used to do was turn off invulnerability mode so that cars had, would take damage. Ram my car as fast as I could at the start of the race as we were pulling out into the other vehicles to take their wheels out, and then quickly put invulnerability mode back on and carry on driving the race.
That sounds kind of dirty.
Yeah, it was the dirtiest tactics ever, but that's how I managed to finish 12th in a race and not last.
When I grew up and I was playing racing games, I would always ram the other drivers. That was always my goal. No, I'm taking you out, and then I'm going to try to win.
There you go. See?
Main goal is to make sure you can't win.
Scary Old World Games. Do you remember that game? Yeah, on the Amiga. The camera would turn slightly when you turn the mouse. That's it. I would use this to remake Racing Destruction Set. I don't know what that is, but I used to love Stunt Car Racer. I love Stunt Car Racer. Ah, no gliders. Oh man, I love this. And it was so easy. It really was very easy to add this on. So if I wanted to add my own town, into this, how would you do the roads? Oh, the roads. I'm just going to quickly have a look at this. Let's pop over and.
So you could use my demo scene and you could just replace the buildings, or you can build your own environment. There's some different tools that let you do roads. I think my favorite one was one that doesn't really exist anymore. It was called Road Architect. It's on GitHub.
Okay.
But it used to be on the asset store, but they deprecated it a while back. I really like that one. It's just lays out roads and intersections and bridges really easily. Easy Roads 3D is another. That's actually what I used to create the city. I used Gaia to make the terrain, and then just did a bunch of stamping and shaped it the way I want, and then I used Easy Roads. And after that, I made it look horrible because I couldn't redistribute the textures.
I haven't played with Easy Roads. I've played Mad Maps has got his own road system, which is pretty funky, and there also is somewhat of a road system that Nature Manufacture made, but he doesn't do intersections. So here we go. So here is your world.
Yeah, so this is Easy Roads.
So
I wouldn't really call it Easy Roads though, because it took a lot of work to build this city.
So it's somewhat difficult roads rather than easy.
I like Road Architect better. I really wish that asset would have continued. I think Easy Roads is great. When I look at it though, I always feel confused, and I feel like I'm somewhat of a knowledgeable developer, so I should be able to make roads easier than I am. But yeah.
So are these meshes, or is it just texture?
They're meshes.
And it bends it into the shape that you want it to go, and
yeah, and it deforms the terrain around it. Like I said, this was Easy Roads, and once you get it up and running and you got your road network working, that's where all the hard part is, just getting up and to the point where you have everything you need. And then it's great. Yeah, you could build out a city grid like this or whatever you want.
So how do you add in so you got to make these waypoint routes and add in all the different waypoints manually for the NPC cars to follow?
Yeah. So basically you would press Control and R and it would create a new route, and then you would just click on the route, Control and left click, and it puts points out, and then you just wire the points up to each other, like the different routes. So like the last endpoint on that intersection that you're looking at right there, waypoint 4, connects to waypoint 1 of whichever route it connects to.
So how long did it take to set up all the waypoints and linking up all the routes for all of this?
It was the first time I actually did the process. It took me a week to configure AI for this city, and
Wow.
in that process, I was iterating through the system. So if I had to do it again, I could do it in a day.
Okay. So it's not one of these like, yeah, you're just dragging it in, clicking a button, and in a couple of hours you've got your road wired up and all the NPCs waypoints mapped out. It is going to take you time to sit down and do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically setting the route for each lane, and then you're creating the routes for the intersections, which is where they turn from. And then you're going to set the speed limit for each point. So you want to control the speed limit of the car. And that's just going to take some testing. Like you don't know until you're watching the simulation. You're like, okay, these cars are going too fast on this turn. I need to slow them down. So then you would reduce the speed limit by 5 miles per hour for those waypoints or something.
Oh man, cool. We've got to announce a winner. We've done the raffle. We need to say who's won it. Who's won the first copy of the Arcade Racer? Let's do a drum roll. Fresh meat. No one. He said he was like, "There's only one copy left because I've already taken it," and he's actually won it. I swear, that was not a fix. Fresh meat. Oh my gosh! Congratulations, Fresh. It's like, what the fudge? Nice. Yeah. Oh my word, Badger.
Enjoy.
Mate. Enjoy it, pal. Oh my word. Where is the NPC chat? Here we go. So I want to quickly just load up NPC chat. Well, where's the example scene? I don't want you to cringe because I know you're saying that you're very hard on yourself.
So you would go to notification areas.
Okay.
I actually really need to use the bathroom, so.
Oh, you go and have a whiz while I play about with your thing while you're away. I'll see you in a second.
Sure.
All right. Well, congratulations, fresh mate. So notification area 1. This is a notification area. Use it to display notifications or messages. Play or loop audio clips, display buttons that call your custom script methods or trigger events from your scripts. What's this one? Oh, did you guys hear that? So this is a notification audio area.
This is an audio notification area.
It's very quiet. It's very quiet. Don't worry, Big Gamer, we've got another one. We've got another raffle to give. We've got another copy to give away. This is a notification audio and text. Okay, this is text. And text 3 pops into the side.
This is an audio notification area. This is an
it's on loop.
Notification area. This is an audio.
This one, this is can be used for many purposes. Consider using on chat events. All right. All right, that's pretty funky. I mean, this is notification. Multiple chat character dialogue. Let's do that one. Why do the single when you can go straight to multiple? That's what I say. Okay, what's he going to say to this person? Hi. I'm configured to talk to you. After that, you can say whatever you want back to me. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, if we wanted to, we can have a full conversation about anything, but I really don't want to talk anymore. I don't feel like talking to her, but anyway, bye. That's so cool. Okay, well, so this is not, I can't choose different things to say to him. Rich text markup. Let's see. Got a copy of this. Got a copy of this one to give away as well. Rich text markup. Hi! Oh, this looks pretty. I'm a robot. It's nice to talk about my features. Did you notice my color size, mode, and italic? Use this feature for live type text with Uni's rich text markup tags. Okay. That was pretty. Disable character control. Let's see. Disable. Bang. This NPC uses on chat start, on chat stop. Events to trigger custom scripting methods. There you go. I hope you washed your hands.
I did. You need to.
So you tell that to my kids. I said this scream. My neighbours must be bored of me sitting there screaming, "Wash your hands! Wash your hands!" And them coming back, "I didn't do a poo, only a wee. I don't care what it is. You wash your hands afterwards." So this, I just noticed, but in this one, when we're chatting, we can't move around. Also, when I move away, the chat doesn't disappear. Like
yeah, so
radius.
there's lots of different settings to configure how you want it to behave. So one of them uses an example where it disables the character controller, and that's why you can't move.
That's the one we just played about with a second ago. It's cool.
And this one is just like a simple settings. You can make it disable as you walk away. It has a distance check, so you would set the distance to, like, let's say 5 meters. If you're within the 5 meters, you can talk to the NPC. And then if you leave that 5 meters and you have the dialogue window open, it will close it.
Ah, good. That's what we want. That's what we want. Do an exclamation mark NPC chat in chat for a link to this. So are you still adding new features onto this one? Is there going to be any updates, any new changes on the plans, or is this feature complete?
So NPC chat was written like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe more. I did a major like demo update, which is all of this that you see. Before I had a huge demo scene. Now I have everything separated into its own demo scene. So for the most part, each demo scene is a different type of configuration example. And with the last update, I did basically an inspector refresh. So I just made it look a lot nicer and easier to use. I do want to come back in here and give it another pass, like a usability pass, because currently the way it works is you can configure structured dialogue with this asset. So like you pick option A and the dialogue goes down this branch, and you pick option B and the dialogue goes down a different branch. But the thing about that is it uses a scriptable object, and I think a lot of the people who were using this system, they didn't understand that they were interacting with the scriptable object, and they would ask me like, well, why can't it be in the scene? And my response was, well, it's the same as being in the scene, except it's not in the scene. The data is just always there. And I would like to improve that user flow, but I don't currently have any plans to do that until maybe when I'm done creating more features for Arcade Racer. So right now where I'm at with Arcade Racer is I've been working on it almost with all of my spare time for the last year and a half, and it's almost at the point where Arcade Racer is feature complete, and once that's done and I have the documentation there, I think that if I were to do anything else related to this package, it would be within NPC chat, and it would just be making it more user-friendly.
I would love to play about with this more. I'd like to see getting this working with the Arcade Racer. By the way, we've got Catch Money in chat saying, "Stephen, good to know more about you. I'm out. We'll catch up on the forums." Thanks
oh yeah, he's always been useful and gave me some good feedback. Thank you for all of that. I think there were a lot of users that would say, "Hey, can we have the beta?" And this is basically the beta for my remake, and he's probably been the user that has given me the most useful feedback. And all of those other people that said it, they haven't said anything about it. And it's like, wait, where were you guys like when you were bashing me, saying you're a crap developer? He took our money and he ran. And it's like, no, you guys paid me $60 or something, and now you got all of my year's worth of work for free. Like you made whatever you made when you bought it, but now you have it for free. So he's really helped, and I want to say thank you to him. He said he might drop by. Yeah.
Kitchmani, have you gone? Don't know. Have we missed? Have we missed you, Kitchmani? If we missed Kitchmani, somebody send him a VOD so you can hear. You can hear your name was spoken out, man, on the television. On the televisions. I think we missed. Okay, let's do another raffle of this one. So we can use this NPC chat system with the arcade racer. We could be driving around, and when you smash into a car, it triggers a chat like, "No, smash my car."
Yeah. So you had actually showed me something earlier, and you were talking about Crazy Taxi and making a game like that, and the mechanics in that game are really simple. You're just driving from, I'll call them trigger areas. You take a box collider, and that's a trigger area. And that's basically what NPC chat uses. When you enter that trigger area, you can trigger anything from a timer or a dialogue or an event, and you could do your custom scripting. So yeah, you could totally take NPC chat and use it for triggering or for creating all kinds of like open world events. The possibilities are kind of endless. It's really up to your creativity.
So everyone stick an exclamation mark raffle in chat to win a copy. This is $60. $60 on the asset store, this, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're getting it for free. For free, I tells you. And everyone else in chat, you're winning yourself a copy of the free Waypoint. There you go. Click on that link and you got yourself a free asset from Turn the Game On. See, not turn on the game, turn the game on.
Yeah, show your players which way to go. Use
there you go.
Arrow waypointer.
Let's go into demo scenes of timers and clocks, because you've also got 2 copies of these to give away, haven't you?
Yeah, these are simpler assets. Kind of the same thing as NPC chat. You can use it however you see fit. If you want to put a clock in your scene that shows the system time, this will do it, and you could read all of the data with your other scripts or whatever. And you also get a timer that you could use to count up or down. You could stop the timer and start the timer. It's actually really useful.
Oh, well, Scary Robot Games is saying that it's owned it since 2016.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you.
That was a really simple... This is it. This is the script. That's it.
Yeah. So like if you were to just go into a new scene, I'll show you how to just bring it in there.
Just that clock. So you got a clock on the script on the clock, and then you've got the main controller script that sits in the scene. So let's go new scene. Oh, I'm paused. Let's go new scene.
And then if you right click inside of the Unity, select UI.
Yep.
And timer. Just
hang on.
timer.
Nobody can see this. Give me 1 second so I can make sure everyone can see what we're doing. And right click UI timer.
And it basically just sets up a timer for you. So if you get your UI string, and yeah, just press play and you'll see what it does by default. So right now it's unmaximize your game so you can see your inspector. So the state is currently set to disabled. If you toggle that,
dang.
now and you could toggle it on or off. This has methods that you can call on it to tell it to start or stop. You could change what type of timer it is, if it's a countdown or a count up timer. So what kind of timer do you want to make? You want to make a 10-second countdown timer?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so turn off play mode and change it to countdown.
Yep.
And start time is 10 seconds. And then in the field right below it, you have your time's up event. So you can just click that plus button and like put a game object, maybe the directional light. Assign the directional light. And game object, just turn it off.
Selective.
Yep. that's it. And then go ahead and press play.
Sanyo's in the chat.
So when this reaches 0, it'll just turn off the light, but you could hook it up to any of your other scripting methods and basically trigger any kind of event. You could have as many timers as you want in a scene.
I did it.
Yeah, very simple to use.
Hey. Okay, Sanya. Oh, okay. Sanya just missed this. I'm going to open up entries for this. You got 10 seconds, Sanya. This is not. We're not raffling off. We're raffling off the NPC chat system. So the NPC chat, exclamation mark, NPC chat in chat. If anyone missed the raffle for that one, you got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2 and a bit, 1. Da da da. Big winner. Distant Temples! Distant Temples, you are a winner! And you stick that up.
Yay!
There's my thing. Where can I move my thing? Come on, where's my... There we go. So, this Freshy one, car equals Freshy. NPC equals distant. And we've got 2 copies of timers and clocks. Now, what made you want to do the timers and clocks?
That just kind of happened. So when I was making the racing template, I was like, hey, I just did a bunch of research into figuring out how to format time strings and just work with them. Let me make an asset.
I mean, that was literally it. It wasn't like, oh, I need to. I've got the countdown to start the race, and I'm gonna make an asset.
I mean, pretty much it. Like when I was building the template, I had to figure out how do I format this time, like for what I needed to. And once I figured out all of that formatting, I was like, this is a little harder than I might think it would be. Maybe people will find it useful. So I just took a day and wrapped it up into an asset. And as people gave me feedback, I would do the same thing that I did with my other assets. Was I listen and I put that feedback into the asset, and it just kind of became a little bit better with each improvement.
How busy is this on the asset store? I mean, how much demand is there for timers and clocks?
There's not a lot. I think there's people that have cheaper versions, which probably sell more often than mine. I don't think that they're as customizable and user-friendly as mine, but I think that's what people typically gravitate toward, is the free stuff and the cheap stuff. But I'll sell like a copy or 2 every month. Sometimes I'll sell 3 or 4.
And it comes back down to, if you had it cheaper, you might sell a handful more, but you'd have a lot more support you'd have to be handing out. Right.
And you know, with that support, you really get to the point where you wonder if you want to. So this is my philosophy on pricing with the asset store. If you put your stuff cheaper, you're going to sell more, and then you're going to have more novice users using your product, and they're going to be the ones that are asking how to use it. Whereas if you price it higher, you're probably going to have more professional developers and more intermediate to advanced level developers using your content, which means that they're going to be able to figure it out from your documentation, which is kind of what you want. So yeah, I tend to try to capture the more experienced developers. That way I can get useful feedback from them instead of some kind of email that says, hey, how do I script this?
How do I stop my car bouncing?
I'm like, yeah, like I'm a freelance developer. So like when I think about that, it's like, wow, like I'm answering questions for more novice developers for free, and I don't mind doing that. They paid me, but the price that they paid for the asset is less than I make, and sometimes they ask for more support. So my philosophy is always try to reduce the support as much as possible, and just kind of target the people who you want and sell to them.
There was we've had a few people, obviously been doing this for quite a while now. It's season 3 of the Live Dev interviews. So what comes up when we're chatting with developers is there's a lot of people who want to have a support subscription product on the asset store. So you've sold your asset. Say you've sold it for $20, and you go, okay, it's like, getting an open source effectively. You've got $20 and you've got limited customer support. So if you want to have help, you send an email and you get a ticket, and your SLA on that is like a week. And what you could be waiting a week for a response for your ticket, average response time. However, if you want the bronze support package, you pay an extra $10 a year. Or if you want the silver support package, you pay $50 a year. And if you want the gold, it's $100, and you get so many hours of additional custom development a year for your $100 a year. So that, or like even some people are saying like a monthly subscription model for gold tier support or something. Is that something that you think would work in the asset store as another way of supporting developers?
I don't know. Personally, with my own work, anybody who comes to me with a question, as long as they give me their invoice number, they're going to get support. And they typically get it within 24 hours. Sometimes they'll get it right when I get the email if I'm at my computer. So for me as a developer, hearing something like that, it's kind of like saying, okay, so I'll give my customers less support because they have a week window now instead of like a 1 week window for their level. It's weird. It's almost like an incentive to do less quality work and support to me. I believe that I've contacted asset store publishers before with questions. Some of them have just never answered the question, and it's like, so me personally, I take support seriously. If you send me a question, I'm going to answer it. If you're struggling with the asset, I'm going to help you figure it out. And that's really feedback to me and my product, and then I take that full circle and put it back into my product. So I don't know how much that would help me. Like if it brought in additional revenue, that would be cool. I mean, like, revenue is actually interesting, and I don't know if it's the way that I sold my product and the fact that I gave away free updates, but I'm actually not making very much money, if any money, on the asset store right now. I think
that's not good to hear.
Yeah, last month I think I made like $100.
Damn.
The month before I did good, but that was before I set the price increase for Arcade Racer. But every other month this year was bad. This is actually the worst year that I've had in sales since I started. So it, like, to me, the biggest thing is, are there new customers? And like, how often are there new customers? Because I feel like everybody who's kind of used Unity, they have everything already. Like, my asset library is huge. I have most of all the top packages, so I don't really buy anything anymore because I don't need anything. But I was one of those users who always bought everybody's asset. And I would get upset if I bought an asset, didn't have a chance to use it, and then I see the publisher updated it, and I have to pay for the update. I'm like, wait a second. So personally, I think there just needs to be more focus on the actual customers, like I said, because some of those people that charge for updates are the same people who don't answer their emails. And yeah, I just believe that it's a little tricky right now to answer that, actually, because I'm in my own world and I have my own perspective on that. And I also don't do the asset store like full time and rely on it for revenue. I rely on my job for that. So I understand that there's reasons that people develop their products in different ways, but personally, I think I'd just rather give them the support all the time. And it doesn't matter if they bought my product a year ago or 3 years ago.
I mean, that's very admirable. You're basically being honest and coming and telling people, because a lot of people were sitting here saying, "Oh, I want to get on the asset store. I want to quit my job and be an asset store developer." But to hear how difficult it is, I mean, to have these hard months where you're pretty much earning next to nothing for years worth of development that you've put into assets on the asset store.
Yeah. So like I'm not.
But at the same time, you're basically saying this, yet you're still like, well, I'm not going to be charging updates for my existing customers and charging them extra for things, even though you're not making any money or enough money. You're still not going to go back and say, look, I need more money for my customers. So that's really, I mean, you don't hear that much these days.
Well, so my original goal, and the only reason I picked up Unity in the first place, and maybe other publishers are different, it was so I could make a game. And on my journey to make a game, I landed in a career. Like, I'm a full-time software developer now. Well, actually, this year it's not been full-time. We're trying to get a contract for some work, but I make a decent living now, and that was something that didn't exist 7 years ago when I first started using Unity. But going back full circle, I wanted to make a game, and that's still what I want to do. And I don't believe that. So if I want to become a successful game developer, I think that my success would be in the successful game that I develop, not the assets that I make. I just happen to make these assets in my journey of learning. And if I'm able to help some other people and make a little mark on the world, that's cool. But I'm definitely not trying to make a living from this anymore. When I first started, I thought it was possible. And I think the most I ever earned on the asset store was about $15,000 in a year, which at the time, that was a very lot of money. And I was very happy for it. But this year, I have a feeling, unless something changes with the next sale that they have, if we're allowed to participate as a publisher, and I actually make revenue, but let's say I don't make any decent sales, I'm probably only going to make $3,000 this year. So yeah. to go from like the highest of $15K down to like $3,000 or $2,000, it's just like obviously to me the revenue is not there. And at this point, I feel like this is the best work that I've ever developed, but yeah, it's just a really strange place. So me personally, I don't really know if I'll still be around as an asset store developer in a few years. Unless something changes, I'll probably start on my own personal projects, and that's what I'll use to make revenue. I don't think that I'll ever be a professional asset store developer.
I mean, this is a really polished, lovely asset. I mean, I'm driving around. It's like I'm playing a game. It's like, that's good. It is. We forgot to do the giveaways. Let's pick the winners. Distant Temples, you won again. Distant Temples a winner. Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
And
congrats,
Distant and Gilda. Distant Temples and Gilda. So clocks, Distant and Gilda. We got one more copy of this amazing kit to give away. I have to say, people listening to this story, because a lot of people have basically messaged me and say, Messi, can you give me advice on how I can be an asset store developer? I want to quit my job and be an asset store developer. Because people look at devs like Procedural World, you know, with Adam, who does Gaia and Gina, Nature Manufacture, and other asset store devs, and the story Ultimate Survival. A lot of people on my stream came from when I was doing those videos on Ultimate Survival, and they saw that it was like the #1 selling asset on the asset store, and loads of people were buying it. And you know, you can buy a house in a month from the revenue that you're making off the asset store. These stories and dreams that people think of. I'd say here, yeah, true stories for people sitting there doing amazingly polished work. I mean, this is a great. This is one of the most, I would say, complete assets that I've played about with in a long time from the asset store that you could, and it pains me to say it, click the build button and flip it into a game, because it pretty much is a complete. We've got progression, so I can win races and earn money, and it saves my progress. I compete against other people in different races. You saw how easy it was to just chuck in another car. By the way, the raffle's open! Exclamation mark, raffles in chat. So to hear that even someone like yourself who's got such a complete asset is still struggling, even at the price it's at, I would say that I would have expected more sales.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of sad for me to think about myself, but I didn't really build this for the asset store. I built it for me. And when I think about it in that regard, I know that all of the knowledge that I've obtained through building these systems and stitching them together to create this experience and it being able to run on a PC like at a decent frame rate, that to me is where it pays off, because I'm going to use that to actually make a game that I think a lot more people would love in comparison to an asset that other people are going to use to try to make money. I think when you're chasing the dollar, you don't really make genuine decisions.
Yeah,
so
true.
Because if that was the case, this wouldn't have existed, and we wouldn't be here talking today.
And you wouldn't have learned that skill set that's actually enabled you to get that day job that you're talking about.
Exactly, and that at the end of the day is what makes me feel good, knowing that like I made this, like kind of being on the stream talking to you about it. That's awesome, because I remember when I was that person that was thinking, oh, it would be great if I could become an asset store publisher. Well, I did. I sold some stuff. I made a few $1,000. It wasn't what I thought it would be. And I think when Unity first came out, I think the chances of success for an average person were a lot higher.
Are Unity not helping to promote? I mean, because there's so much. I mean, it's flooded on the asset store. But do they not offer anything to help promote you, like put you on the front page, or like contact you to say, can we help you promote or your asset through our store? How can we, what can we do to help?
Personally, no.
they've never reached out since you've been a publisher to.
I've never actually had like a full sentence transact between me and somebody from the store.
Wow.
With that regard, no. So like, yeah, like to me, it's like as a publisher, I kind of feel like they don't know that I exist. I know that like I've been in sales before, don't get me wrong, but they're massive sales that everybody's a part of. And yeah, I think they could do better in that regard. I don't know if that's a priority for them. I don't feel like it is. I think that they have their own agenda in a sense, which is fine. It's their company. Back in the day when I started, they had a different community manager, and the community was really engaging, and that's when I started. But I feel like there was a change since then. And then we had like I don't know if you remember when they tried to change the user forum.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, it was just a horrible experience. Why would you take a user forum away from everybody and allow them to lose all of their data? And like, that's the community. So
and that took a while for them to roll back that and admit it was completely wrong.
Yeah, and they were telling users at the time, "Oh, get used to it."
Yeah,
and it's like they try to take the group that's here and doing something, and they want it to do something else. And I think that's at the time. They were a small company, now they're a corporation. And I understand that things need to change for that. But personally, I don't really think that the community is what it used to be. I think the community used to be better, and they used to be more engaged. And yeah, like I bought, I actually had one of the asset store is really weird. I had a video that I made for my old racing template, and I used music that I purchased from the asset store, and then my video was claimed as a copyright strike, and they forced advertisements on it. So it's like music that I bought from the asset store for my own multimedia content, which I was within my right to put it in a video and put it on YouTube. Somebody else is coming and claiming that copyright. And I had to send like dozens and dozens of emails just to get that copyright claim off. And then when I went and asked Unity, I said, hey, I bought this music from you. Can I please have a refund? Because they're copyright claiming this work, and I should have been able to use it. And they said, oh, you bought it 6 months ago. I'm like, well, like part of the license agreement is that I'm able to buy this and be able to purchase it to put it in my work. But then I have other corporations claiming my work as their own, enabling monetization, and then taking that monetization. And that was my negative experience with the asset store. I was like, really? How could you sell me something that I was supposed to be able to use, and then I'm not able to use it?
Did you contact the publisher who made that music asset originally and say, like, I've been copyright claimed?
No, I did. I didn't receive a response. Like, I wasn't receiving responses from anybody. I forget who actually resolved it, but it was really kind of like I had to take a step back and think about it. I was like, wait, so I'm investing money in the asset store, and then I put it in my product, and then other companies are claiming these products. And when I let Unity know, they say, we don't care because you bought this 6 months ago. And that's what customer service says to me. And then at the same time, they removed that asset from the asset store. So they know there's an issue. They took the asset down because the publisher was doing something they shouldn't. They obviously sold it to multiple people, and now you have different licensing agreements, and that's why what happened to me happened. But just give me my $20 back. That's the only music I've ever bought from the asset store. So that one experience kind of tainted me, and I won't buy audio from the asset store anymore. I'll make my own, or figure out. At that point, I'll just go and get an MP3 from the internet that's royalty free. But
yeah, oh my god, that's crazy.
Like I would think that in a situation like that, they would be like, yeah, you're right. Like, they violated the EULA. Here's your money, and we don't care if you bought it 3 years ago. They basically claimed the product that you made with what you bought. They shouldn't have that money, and we're embarrassed to take the percentage from it. I think that they have a lot of self-reflection to do in that regard.
Yeah, that is crazy. It does. Yeah, I can feel, because I've been using Unity since back when it was Mac only. When I had to basically build a Mac PC just to be able to get Unity working. I think it was like version 1. And there's a huge difference to where we are today. Like you're saying, they were just a small company, now they're a corporation. Gildas says, sounds like you have a great philosophy when it comes to pricing and support. It's so true. It is so true. It's really refreshing, and it's so nice to hear you talking about just how you feel about development, the revenue, pricing, just support.
Well, you got to treat people the way that you want to be treated. I don't want to. I've always felt taken aback when I bought something from a notable publisher who's always on the front page, and I have a simple error, and you just don't get a response back. And it's like, no, I got to treat people better. If I'm putting my name on this product and I'm selling it, if you send me an email, you'll get a response back.
Tech Trader saying, moral of the story, don't buy music off the asset stores. Well, yeah, I would say, because that could easily have been anything. It could have been art as well, that somebody's reselling, because we've seen that before, haven't we? And we've seen people steal code and steal artwork and sell it on the asset store as though it's their own.
Now, I was wondering what would have happened to me if I would have actually published that in a work, because from what I understand, it's just an algorithm that YouTube has set up that music creators or other types of content creators can go and they could put in their file, and then it'll search YouTube for anything that uses that. So I think it picked up the audio that was in my video, and that's how it claimed it. I don't think somebody like found me and said, "Oh, this guy's using my work.
Yeah.
Let me copyright strike." It was all based on an algorithm.
Well, it doesn't even need to be published, because I did a video of me singing The Rains of Castamere when I lost my voice. So I lost my voice. I could hardly speak, and I was being like this as I was. My voice sounded like that, and I was like, I'm going to do The Rains of Castamere. So Goku will remember, because he said his ears were bleeding when he heard it. And I had it. I uploaded it onto YouTube, and I had it as a hidden video. So you basically needed the link to be able to get it. Yet the algorithm found it and monetized it for HBO. I'm like,
and did they make it public too?
Oh no, exactly. But they couldn't make it. They didn't make it public. It's still unlisted.
Okay.
But they like saying we're claiming the money that this is going to make. So it was a hidden video, but they didn't change the visibility of it, thankfully. Otherwise, that'd be dreadful. People would be listening to me singing The Rains of Castamere, and I'd have small children having nightmares, and you don't want that.
I didn't think they would pick something like that up. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah, it's nuts. We've got the raffles come to an end. When it comes to music, I've started talking to asset developers who do music on the asset store, and much like ourselves, we're having chats. I get to speaking to them and going, okay, you're a real human being. Now I know you, and I've got a certain level of trust. I'm going to purchase your assets, because if you try to do anything dodgy, I'll find where you live and I'll TP your house, stuff like that.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you threaten to TP somebody's house, they're not going to copyright claim your music.
Exactly. I think that's even on YouTube. It says that. So let's pick a winner. Who's won this? Who's going to make? Whoever's win it. You don't be taking my idea of a crazy taxi. That's my idea. Okay. So.
No, that's Sega's idea.
No. They stole it from me.
And if you make it, they're going to steal it back from you.
Exactly. Net Cyborg. Congratulations, Net Cyborg. Speak up in chat. Speak up in chat. Remember, don't forget, message me on Discord so that I can give you your winnings. Message me on Discord so you can get your winnings. The best way to test if your audio asset is plagiarized is to upload it to YouTube. That is actually a good. That is clever. We use YouTube's algorithm thing to help you. So stick it onto YouTube and see if it gets flagged, and then you know that it was dodge.
So when that happened to me, there was another publisher who reached out and said, we can help you get music that's not gonna have this impact. And I was like, okay. So like, there are people who are out there who, like you said, if you get to know the publishers, find out who you're buying from.
Exactly. Reach out to them.
Like, don't just buy from a random company. Like, always do your research. And I think that goes with anything. Like, if you go into the store, you don't just pick random stuff off the shelf. Oh, this box art looks cool. Let me buy this.
And I'm doing that with anything. I'm doing that with every asset now that I buy. I reach out. I send a message to the developer, and I've got about 20 different Gmail accounts. So I never send it through this one, just in case they go, I watched one of your videos, 10 years ago, and I vaguely know who you are. So I do it as my other accounts. They've got no idea that they will get roasted if they do anything silly, and it's amazing how many people don't reply at all. So you get no replies whatsoever, and then I'm like, okay, this is interesting. No reply, and then I'll send one from my messy coder Gmail to see, and I'll be like, I'm just doing reviews on different assets, and I've got some issues with your asset, and I'm about to do a video about it, showing these bugs, and then immediately I get a reply. They go, okay, why didn't you reply to my other emails that I sent?
Have you actually asked them that?
I have. I had one when I said and there was a person who said, unfortunately at that time, I had some personal issues and medical stuff, and I was completely away, and I know it's unforgivable, but I'm trying to address that since I came back. And I was like, oh man, I feel bad now. So I was like, okay. But other ones, literally no reply whatsoever. So there's one person actually came back and said, look, I had some problems at the time, unfortunately, and I know it impacted support, and I'm really apologetic, and I messaged in the forums afterwards to let people know, and I went on the forums and okay, yeah, I can actually, yeah, this is a true story. It's not just somebody saying something. So one time it's turned around. It's like where you're saying, "How dare you take my seat on the bus?" And it turns out the woman's pregnant. So, but a lot of the times, and I'm talking about a lot of the times, they basically just not replying. And then I've had somebody reply back after 6 months ago, "I'm sorry, I missed your email." And that was it. I'm just sorry, I missed your email. Well, if I was working on a project using your asset, it's a bit too late now.
I think there was one person that I recall, and I actually did miss his email. Like, I opened it and I meant to reply, and I completely forgot. And then he sent another email like a week later. "Are you there?" I was like, "Oh man, I feel bad because like I should have replied, and that's not my style."
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you know, if he sends it after a week, didn't get a response, sends it back after a week, and then you get a response back. You know, that's you know, it happens. But I'm talking about like 6 emails, constant. "Can I get a reply to my email? You know, this is an issue. I need a reply. I can't go." So I never judge people off just one email. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. People are human beings. So if it was just one email, then that'd be harsh. But I'm talking about, like, I always give people like 6 to 10 chances. You get 6 to 10 chances depending on the quality of your asset.
That's a lot of chances.
That's honestly, I'm a really nice guy. I'm a really nice human being. Towards the end, as they progressively get worse, I'm like, I will find where you live and I will TP your house. You know, towards the end of it. Obviously, I don't condone that. I'm going to get terms of service on Twitch. It's a figurative TP. It's a metaphorical TP. It's not a real TP.
You're going to TP the internet house.
Exactly. It's the principle.
Wait, you probably shouldn't say that either, because then that card just flipped over.
I took him out. Good.
Yeah, nice job.
So like, but in saying so, I have had people send me death threats. So I've had people send me death threats. I've had people say stuff about my kids, about, you know, my family, all because I wouldn't give them assets, or I wouldn't refund them for purchasing assets. So people have messaged me about assets that got nothing to do with me and asking for refunds, and then sending me threats. I had actually read one out on one of the funnier ones.
How did they think they're gonna get them?
I don't know. They honestly thought because I did a video on an asset, it's mine. Even though I sent like messages saying it's not my asset. I'm not that guy. So I read one of them out on stream because he sent a picture of the invoice, and I found it hilarious that he was threatening to beat me up, and he sent me his home address.
What, did he want to go meet you outside?
But he didn't realize he sent me his invoice. It had his home address on it. So I'm like, you're threatening the wrong person, and you don't know where I am. Yet I know who you are, and I have going home address. The problem was that he was very, very muscular. Let's just say he could just pick me up and screw me up into a little ball and throw me over his shoulder. So
why did you like show up at his door and say, "What's up, man"?
Oh no, I stalked him. I did like, okay, you've obviously given far too much information now. I wonder how much more I can find on the internet. I used to, because I'm doing cybersecurity and all that shenanigans. You know, this will be interesting.
Oh, you do cybersecurity?
Yeah, a long time. I've done like everything. I did one. You got to pay the bills. you know what it's like.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, this is interesting. You are a very scary looking man. To the point I was like, you know what? It's not even my money, but I'm going to give you the money. You know what I mean? It's not even my money.
Here, take it.
But here, take it, because you look like you could do a lot of damage. But
Want an extra 10%?
Yeah, exactly. But that's how scary the internet is that there's a lot of crazy people. So you're selling your assets out there, you're selling your products, selling your games. You never know who's going to be contacting you for support and what kind of person he is.
Well, you know what? The opposite is also true, because that's how I got my job.
Really?
I met somebody. He was watching my YouTube video when I first started doing some Unity stuff, and we made a small game together. And then after that, I started doing my own stuff. I say, I don't want to work with you. Nothing personal. I just want to develop and do my own stuff. And then he came back to me like 2-3 years after that and offered me a job. I was like, wow, really? I didn't know this would lead to that. Wow. You never know who you're going to meet online.
Exactly.
Just by posting something.
And that's let me somebody put an exclamation mark Discord in chat. Put an exclamation mark Discord in chat, because much like what you said, you never know who you're going to meet. Come up over to the Discord. You're going to meet people who are from all over the world doing all kinds of different jobs. Some not related in any way to gaming, and they're part of the Unity Discord and our little community here. And you've got people who are working in places like Google and Facebook, and you've got people who work for Unity. It's scary how many times I'm sitting there chatting, and somebody will just pop into chat and say, message me and go, you know, by the way, I work for Unity. And I'm like, what? What do you mean you work for Unity? Yeah. They're like, well, I didn't know that. Should I not insult Unity anymore when you're around? It's like, how does that work? So there's nobody from Antarctica.
No, I think that's when you need to say it, because then somebody internal heard it. Yeah. Like, nobody ever wants to hear the bad stuff about them, but people say bad stuff, and you should still know about it. That way you can adjust yourself if you need to, or if you want to. It's really
exactly. It's the desire. They need to want to change and be the number one in their field.
Bad feedback is the best feedback, because it's telling you what you obviously did not see.
Yeah.
And you could use that to improve yourself so more people can see you. And then everybody succeeds then.
It's like having your very own army of QA engineers. They're called your customers.
Yeah. And they give you feedback constantly. Like, feedback is the hardest thing to get. I think all of my feedback was literally just through support.
Really?
Very few people actually say, hey, here's some constructive feedback for you. Sometimes you get it, but I'd say about 95% of it, of like the reviews and stuff, they don't actually tell you what's wrong. Like, you have to figure that out for yourself. And I think that's the exact same for big companies too. Especially the faster you grow, like, you're gonna have growing pains. That's the very definition of it.
Rena Dork, welcome to the stream, Rena Dork. We're talking with Stephen, who's the developer of this amazing asset, and actually a load more assets as well on the asset store. We've just given away 2 copies of this, and a copy of his NPC chat, and 2 copies of his clocks and timers. But you know what? Exclamation mark, free Waypoint. You're going to get yourself a free copy of his Waypoint system as well, because you're beautiful. We were just talking about, I was just moaning about how I've been getting the bad, and well, I've got so many good stories about meeting fantastic people, but I've been getting some freaky ones as well. Somebody just telling us about how he had the opposite, or he had some really good experiences, because he's now working, got a full-time job, because of his friends that he's met through Unity, from buying his assets through the forums. I gotta say, there's a lot of friends we've made. We've got, if I look through the chat now of people in here, these are people that have been on the YouTube channel for, how long have I been doing the YouTube now? Can anyone remember? Has it been 3 years? We've been doing YouTube now for 3 years. I think we're coming up to 3 years. And it's the same people that have been there since day one are still here now. To the point that we're like saying, hey, I'm going to be in your country soon. Do you fancy meeting up for drinks? You know, how are you? Are you all right? How's the family? These are conversations that you don't have with just people who buy your asset and then give you a 1-star review on the asset store. So there's a lot community. I know the community in Unity is not what it once was, but there's still a lot of fun friends to be made out there.
Oh, I think that you're going to make the best friends working with Unity that you'll ever meet, because if you enjoy it, then whoever you meet also enjoys it, so you immediately have something in common.
And not only that, you also have in common the pain and suffering of being a Unity developer, a Unity user. So the good thing about Unity is that there's a lot of positives that we see in play. It's easy to use. You've got this fantastic asset store that you can just grab a load of free assets or cheap assets or expensive assets and make your game. But there's also the best thing about Unity is there's so many things wrong with it that we can complain about. And there's a lot of things that people love. And there's not much you love better than a good complaint or a good moan. Like ECS or UNet.
UNet.
There you go.
The bane of my existence.
Talk to Irish John about UNet.
UNet was actually... I enjoyed UNet because that was my first networking experience, but I wish they would have continued it.
Well, Mira, you know the guy who Viz2K, the guy who makes UMMORPG, he made his own flavor. So he's got Mira and telepathy. And so they apparently it's a lot better, and he's got like 500 to 1,000 simultaneous people on at once in one scene, multiplayer with high frame rates and having fun. So yeah, I mean it's all of the he basically was raising all the bugs and problems with Unit, and the Unit developers were ignoring him, saying those are features, not bugs, or those aren't going to happen. So he just made his own branch off of it, and since then he's been having a great time. But
now somebody like him, I would expect to probably outlast the storm, and he might turn into a service similar to Photon.
I'm not sure he can monetize because it's based off Unity's, IP.
That's really my only concern with it, is that the same thing will happen, is that his support will just end. A new version of Unity will come out, or some type of technology change in the stack causes it to not work anymore and it's no longer being supported. So I think about things in the long term. So like whatever I build, if I'm going to build a racing game today and I'm going to publish it to Steam, whatever it ships with needs to exist for as long as that game exists.
Exactly.
Because if the service disappears, guess what? My game disappears. And that's what happened to the original version of the racing game template. Actually, when UNet was deprecated, that's when my sales really hit the floor. I think because I had to put on my asset, this asset uses UNet, so you could only use 2018.4, and people are like, wait, I can't even use the latest version of Unity with this? I don't want this. Let me go look for something else.
Damn. Ouch.
And then me just putting that warning, like, yeah, this is basically legacy now. Like, yeah. So I think that any type of networking that I would use in the future, it has to be something that I know is going to stay around for a long time.
So would you move over to, you're going to do, just put it out there, we're going to have a Photon add-on to this?
If I were to start anything today, which I'm not, Photon to me is the leader in that regard. They were around before UNet, I used them, and I made a demo. It was really simple and it worked. And then UNet was released, and I was like, I'm gonna use built-in Unity stuff because that's the way to go.
Exactly. That was my mentality, and I had friends mocking me. People telling me, and actually one guy telling me, I know people behind the scenes in Unit and it's dead. They're going to pretend it's not dead for a couple of years, but it's dead. We need to be using Photon. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. You're crazy, man. I don't believe you.
I thought the opposite was going to happen. So as an asset store developer who utilized Unit, I was extremely disappointed because they didn't have documentation when I learned it. And they said that this is here, this is what we're going to do. And I thought it was going to be just as standard as a mesh renderer.
Exactly.
Like it's just a standard Unity component. It's built into the the engine and it's going to be supported, and the opposite happened.
This is why I'm not entirely sold on ECS.
I just wish they would tell us the truth. Like if you know that you're not going to follow through with the system, tell us. Like I'm pretty sure they knew that soon after UNet was announced that they weren't going to push forward with it.
This is the point. This is what my friend told me, and he was like, one of the developers has already left. Like the lead guy has already left. The other one is basically isn't doing it properly and is not really interested, and he's going to leave, and it's dead. And I'm like, you're crazy, man.
Personally, I feel like that's like you're directly lying to me when you do that.
Yeah,
and
so how do some people know these insider gossip? Yeah, other people don't. And I was so naive. I'm like, this is Unity you're talking about now. They would tell you. They wouldn't just keep on telling you this roadmap changes that are coming. They wouldn't do that.
That's what I was thinking too.
But it's so naive. But now you look at Kinematica, you look at ECS, and I honestly feel it's the same story again.
I think ECS is going to outlive it.
Yeah,
they're going to finish ACS. They have to.
Yeah, but I said the same thing about Unit. They have to. It's their own networking. They can't let everyone use Photon. And
even if they don't, well, see, that's different. ECS is not required. Like, you don't need a service for ECS. That's just the way you would program. So what they're doing right now is the foundational work. Once that foundation's done, it's done, and they just need to maintain it. But I think that's partly why they're rewriting so much in the engine.
I've crashed my car completely. I can't even move it now.
Go to the garage.
I've completely done it. What's this over here? Is this the battery or the petrol?
That's the nitro. Hit N.
Well, okay. I had nitro. Right, let me get back in. I had nitro in my car? I could have... Hang on a minute. Let's just say one thing. My driving is bad enough.
That's why I didn't tell you about the nitro.
So honestly, is that why you didn't tell me?
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, you could hit the N key and then you'll... no, you'll probably crash if you do that.
Look, I explode more likely. Let's do this. I always say, like, I'm trying to make these videos, these interviews now, like an hour long at the most. We've been going for like 3 hours now. I did warn you that once we start on a rant and start drinking, then it just goes.
I'm drinking coffee. I don't know what you're drinking, but
I've got herbal tea.
Okay,
it's a herbal tea. There you go.
Right. Just lose track of time.
And holy moly! Oh my gosh! Oh.
Yeah, so the way I use nitro when I'm playing this game is I use it to get some quick acceleration when I'm like right after a turn, and if I've slowed down, then I get back up to speed with nitro.
Damn. That was fast. Oh. Huh? Okay. Gildas saying, I'm trying to read chat. Say, oh my, this is too fast to read chat. I want to use ECS, but they need to stop changing APIs. I haven't even tried it, says Yoda, to learn it yet. I'm so glad there's no colliders on the trees. I'm not even using the nitro anymore. I've turned it off, and I'm still blitzing around at full speeds. Oh my word. Oh!
Well, yeah, you got up to 145 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty quick.
Oh my
Pretty quick indeed.
This is nuts. I really do love your kit, I have to say. And I wish that I could have played your Android game.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, God, look how fast I'm going. This is crazy. And it's so cool that this was made with Gaia.
Yeah, I love the fact that you could just like stamp around stuff. He was like really ingenious when he created that system. I remember whatever was around before he came around, and it was so hard to make terrains.
Did you try Terrain Composer?
Yeah, I had a hard time with that.
I like Terrain Composer, but the problem was that every time you used it, it was though you'd never used it before. You basically had to learn it from the beginning. No matter if you stopped using it for a week, that was it.
That's how I felt with Easy Roads when I made this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I might not use easy roads then.
If you can, I would strongly recommend checking out the GitHub for Road Architect. That asset was awesome. I really wish the guy who makes easy roads would make his user interface as easy to use as Road Architect, because literally you just click in the scene and everything merges together. It's so intuitive.
I'm gonna have to show you Mad Maps. I'll hook you up on Discord another time, and I'll show you Mad Maps. So if you like it, you can just pop over and pick it up on the asset store. Somebody give an exclamation mark Mad Maps in chat. Exclamation mark Mad Maps, because he's got a really easy to use. Oh my gosh! Road system. Okay.
That's kind of always like, so throughout this process, I've been trying to find the perfect combination of assets that I would use to create whatever I make. Because, so I believe when you make a game, you need to know how you're going to finish it. So you have to figure out how much work it's going to take, what systems you're going to build, how long it's going to take you to do the creativity design parts. So the road system was something I still never figured out. I recently tried World Composer, actually, that takes the satellite data from Bing. And I like that because you could get like basically a bunch of tiled Unity terrains with satellite data on it. And it...
Yeah, World Composer is a great asset. Bizarrely, so much easier to use than Terrain Composer.
Yeah, it's literally just click it and you get giant real world maps in your scene, which is awesome for road construction because, like, I think when you're creating a game, like when I made the city, the hardest part is like, where am I going to put the roads? Which road is going to go where? How long is this road going to be? Where's the interesting part of it? You're stuck again.
I know. I keep on doing that. Look at that nitrous just go.
You could grab the car in the scene view and just like pull it up.
Could do. We could do, but I think it's the car's way of telling us that.
Stop.
We need to stop. I will show you one thing though. Let me just pause that. Let me go to Big Head on chat. There is another kit as well. If I pop over to Terra Unity, so Terraland. They've got a new version that's coming out, and it's a lot like where's Unity? Not chat. Here we go. There we go. So it's a lot like World Composer, but it's imagine World Composer and Terrain Composer or Gaia mixed together. So you can create like World Composer does, where it will do the high maps and everything as well, based on the satellite. But
I think I was looking at this the other day and I thought it looked pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. We had them on chat last year, and they've got a new version coming out. Was it earlier this year? They've got a new version that's coming out.
I don't think I saw this video though, because I don't remember seeing buildings in there. Does that spawn the buildings for you?
Based, I think I can't remember. I think you can do it based on the satellite, like where those buildings should be.
Oh wow.
The new version is supposed to be amazing. It's got voxel. It's voxel based as well, so you can be chopping away the terrain.
I think this one has a built-in culling system too, right?
Yeah, I mean it's got so you don't need to use any other scene streaming tools like World Stitcher or what's the one called that Adam picked up? Oh my word, my brain's gone dumb. What is the tool, the culling tool that Procedural Worlds purchased and they're now distributing?
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. What's it called? Chat, what's it called? You know the one? Sector. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this Terra World is going to be, or the new one, basically a combination of Gaia, Sector, World Composer, everything merged into one. Oh, he's going to come on stream to show us it once it's ready. So that's going to be pretty epic. We did play about with a pre-alpha version of it last time we chatted with him, and it did look pretty sexy. So we're waiting now to be boom, to be out.
Yeah, that definitely looks pretty cool. I'll probably have to check that out.
And if you pop over to the old YouTube, let's find me, Mad Maps, Sector Stream, that's the one. Unity! So, getting started, here we go. Here is the video. Oh look, listen to that sexy voice. That man is awesome. Is that what my voice sounds like? How are you all listening to him? Oh, that guy's crazy. I need to be doing my Attenborough voice. Here we are, inside Unity. The roads are long.
I don't think I could listen if that was the case.
Really? You're not an Attenborough? You're not a bad Attenborough accent? Well, I could do Walken. It's crazy. It's got roads. They go nowhere. Origami fresh meat is going to cost us about £1 million if we want origami. I don't think we're ever going to get our hands on that. So this is Mad Maps. Mad Maps is it's not primarily a road system. It's like the road system in Mad Maps is a nice little addition to have. But look at it. Look at it.
Now, does it give you control over the lanes and the width and all of that?
Oh, my furry friend.
And the texture?
Oh, my furry friend. Let me just put this on like super speed. Where we go? Playback speed. It's ×2. So it's putting a little intersection here. And modifying the terrain. See that?
Yeah.
Adding different textures onto it. And then bam. Look, road texture with on the side bits as well, like pebbles on the side and the. So it says, okay, I want the either side of my road to be texture blah blah blah, and I want the road to be another texture.
I might have to check this out. Currently, my favorite is that Road Architect, though, even though it's an old asset and it's not supported anymore. I actually just brought it into a project.
Does it still
the
work?
Other day. Yeah, I tested it with 2019.2 and it was working.
Oh dang! Could you drop a link to me on Skype and I'll paste it into chat.
Yeah. I'm actually still using the version that I have from the Unity Asset Store, but I know most people don't have that, so that's why I referenced the GitHub.
Okay. Road Architect and Fresh Meat's just linked it into chat. Thank you, Freshy. Let's have a click.
That's it.
So when was it last updated?
If you search YouTube for Road Architect, you'll see him using it. It's kind of like jaw-dropping. Like, you make intersections like that without any work. All of this, it's just like, I wonder why the current road systems are so hard to use compared to this, because this was out, it was purchased by me 3 years ago, so that means it was deprecated around 3 years ago. And in that time, nobody's created a system that is so, like, all you do is drag those blue posts around to reshape the road, and then when you click on them, you get all the options. And it processes the road based on the option, and that's it. It's just click, click, click.
And these can be meshes, or is it textures only?
There's another video I watched. They are meshes, and they're all separate objects. So like the side of the roads are separate than the road. And then there's another way that you can optimize them if they're all perfectly straight or something like that. It's just a really powerful tool. And I was reading the forum of what people were actually doing with it currently. Somebody's making some kind of procedural in-game road generation system using this. And he was citing that the code is just really easy to work with and it's really well developed. And I was like, oh man, I think I should check it out again. And immediately I put it in a scene and I got instant results. And I put easy roads in the scene. I'm like, how do I use this again? I'm fumbling through it. I'm like, I can't figure it out. How do I change the road? I don't want that default road. I want different roads. And you just press stuff in easy roads and things just don't happen. And in this, like, you've only been watching him a couple minutes and he's just dragging and dropping stuff and moving it around. Very simple. And this also processes the terrain too.
Damn. Just changing that select menu to say, oh, well, I want 6 lanes.
Yeah, like this is literally, to me, this is jaw dropping. And to think this guy made this when Unity 4 was around. So nobody has made their road system easy to use yet since this guy. And I just wonder why. Like, I don't do road development, so I have no idea why, but I think this is what a modern road system on the asset store needs. Is it needs to be controllable just like that.
Has anyone else in chat used this? Is this all new to us all? Man.
I don't think it was on the asset store for very long, so it's highly likely that a lot of people actually missed it. And I think he has like 12 different types of bridges that you could make too, which is awesome. And if you were actually go and click on these objects, they are all meshes and they're just procedurally generated. And there's like no processing time either. I don't know if you've used those assets that do stuff and it feels like your Unity editor just stops
just freezes,
working.
Isn't it? Like, is it broken now? Is it ever going to recover?
None of that with this. It's like the calculations that they're doing. They know what they're calculating and they're only calculating that. They're not going to slow you down. No, you can't do anything. We need to process everything. Like, he's going to, I was just watching this video the other night. He's going to make a giant bridge and then he's going to optimize it. He's going to show you how he takes it. And this is all procedural. So like if you made it a smaller distance, it would be a smaller size. What he does here is he takes all of the complex geometry. When you see the collider next time he clicks on it, he's going to reduce the tries count. So it basically optimizes the asset.
Damn. Why did this guy stop?
So I have my own theory about
it was abducted by aliens.
No, I think the companies that like big companies that actually develop games or sell road mapping or making software. I don't know if you've ever looked at professional grade road making software. I found this really cool thing. I forget what it was called. I was like, wow, I can make all kinds of road systems just as easy as what you're seeing here. And then I looked at the product price and it was $12,500.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, I'm not going to buy that. I don't even think I could if I wanted to.
That's crazy.
But so my theory is that the companies who sell the really expensive software, they buy the rights for this stuff from smaller developers.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I really like. If I had one wish on the asset store, it was that this guy kept making this asset, because I wonder where it would be at this point in time. But I think he did the same thing that everybody else did. Was that I want to say it was only $40 when it was for sale on the asset store, which is too cheap for something like this. And when you think about how much time it probably took and like custom knowledge that this guy had to be able to put this together, selling it for $40, even if you sell 10,000 copies, I don't think that's going to pay you the amount of time that you've invested to obtain that knowledge and actually put it into a program like this.
Damn, I need to play with this.
You're going to love it.
Like, what the fudge? How did I miss this? It's absolutely amazing. It is. I mean, this is crazy. It's so crazy. It needs some more. Crazy, you know. The roads, they appear by themselves.
And I'm pretty sure that you could put your own custom like middle objects and side objects and all this stuff in there. It even has a tunnel system. So like it'll create like a tunnel.
No.
which is awesome. Yeah, you got this curved road and it just creates a tunnel that goes along the spline with it. It's super awesome. Oh yeah, and it comes with all the textures and signage too.
Oh my word. Oh, this looks ridiculous. It does. Oh, we're going to have to play with this.
Yeah, so I'd be willing to bet somebody just paid this guy and said, yeah, we're going to buy the rights to this and we're just going to pretend it never existed.
Well, then, yeah, but then it wouldn't be on GitHub open source, would it?
Yeah, I guess that's
maybe they just gave him a job.
Maybe, yeah. But to me, this works, which means there's no support, so why not keep selling it? Which is why I think a competitor just bought him out and told him not to sell it on the store. Yeah, you can give it away.
I've spoken to other people that have had a similar thing, but they still own the rights to the original stuff, but they're in a non-compete.
Yeah.
You can't earn any money off of it, but you're allowed to give it away for free.
Then that's likely what happened. Because I've seen a ton of procedural city generation tools pop up over the years too, and then they just disappear.
Damn, I've got to play with this. Thank you for showing us. Thank you for showing us this wonderful little toy.
You're welcome. Use that with my AI and put traffic on this, and maybe one day I'll update to ECS if it finishes, and and you could zoom out and have this gigantic scene with thousands of AI cars driving around. That's my goal, at least.
Yeah, I think we're going to get there before ECS is finished. But my word, I tell you what, dude, I'm so glad to have met you.
Likewise. Thanks for inviting me. It was nice to hang out and chat.
No, it was a pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure. You're in the Discord, so you're part of the family now. Don't forget, in the Discord for developers, there's the Magic Secret Special section that only asset developers live in, where you can all insult me and say how horrible I am in the reviews. I have had a few people that I've had on that have been done a review on the YouTube and given them a 2-star, 2.5 out of 5. And I go, how did I get 2.5 or 3 out of 5? How dare you? And then come on for a live dev interview afterwards when I'm chatting with. But to get to justify myself, my review system is very different. It's not the same as a Unity review system. If you went to Unity and you saw 2.5 or 3 out of 5, you'd be like, that's a shit asset. I'm not going to buy that. That's rubbish. Because everyone just wants a 5-star asset, and the customer just moves on. But I see 2.5 out of 5 as an average score. That's 2.5 out of 5 should be your average. That's your baseline. And anything above that is better than average, and anything below that is lower than average. And if it's 5 out of 5, it's perfect, and nothing of it should ever change because it is the Princess Bride. And that's pretty much how my score. So if you've got a 4 out of 5, then that is amazing. My 4 out of 5 is somebody else's 10 out of 10, in my opinion. So if I ever review any of your stuff, this is me defending myself, and you get less than 5, don't hold it against me.
I'll take the feedback.
Yeah, don't TP my house. Don't TP the house.
As long as you tell me what I could have done to do better.
Oh, you get that. Don't worry. You will get that. You'll get 6,000 emails out of me.
That might be a little excessive. But...
To be fair, 99% of them would be, why don't you reply to me? Why don't you reply to me? I emailed you 3 minutes ago. We had we had an asset dev, I think it was Adavism, who somebody emailed him for support, and within half an hour sent an email complaining that you didn't get a reply yet.
I don't know if I've gotten one of those. I might have gotten one, but I don't think I did.
They do live. There are people like that out there.
Yeah, I've heard of those guys.
Well, I'm honestly gonna make something with your kit.
I hope you do. Definitely share it. I'd love to see what you make.
Oh, I'm gonna make videos of it. Don't worry about that. And do you know what my kids said to me when they saw me playing about with your kit?
What'd they say?
They went, "Daddy, are you making my racing car game?" Like as though this has already been agreed.
So you have to make them a game.
And then they said, "Are you going to make Mario Kart, Daddy?" And I'm like, "Well, we can make a game like Mario Kart, son, but we can't make Mario Kart. I want Mario and Luigi. Well, we can make yourselves, like you and your brother. You can be the drivers. No, I want Mario and Luigi. I want Mario Kart." We're like, "Son, you can't make Mario Kart." And this was a really important conversation I had with my kids. They said, "Why?" I said, "Well, Mario Kart is intellectual property belonging to somebody else." And he just looks at me confused. I said, "So somebody else owns Mario Kart. We don't own it." So, and he just looked at me and went, "Okay, if somebody else," because my wife makes bags, !Bumblebug designs in chat. I said, if somebody else started copying Mummy's bags and selling Mummy's bags, would that be good or bad? He went, "Bad." So like, and that's what it'd be like if I made Mario Kart. And he just looked at me and went, you can make dinosaurs instead then, Daddy."
That's great.
So there you go. So we're going to be making, I don't know, like so Goku
Dino
said,
racers.
Without horses, it'll be dinosaurs.
Yeah. So the next update is actually going to be championship race mode. So you will be able to make a Dino Kart racer.
Oh, brilliant! Well, we'll be doing that then. We've just been sent a link by Yolan. What do you think of this? Stream high quality real time graphics through your browser with new WebRTC framework. Oh.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I think that's really like new, and it looks like they're all running on local IP addresses. I don't think that's over the internet, but to me that kind of seems like what Google's doing with Stadia. In a sense, the demo that I saw, they had it. Whatever they were doing in the Unity editor would show up on the device. So it kind of feels like an evolution of Unity Remote. I don't know if... I actually didn't read anything on there.
I'm going to have to look at this in a little bit more detail. I can't... Did I not make a link for my wife's thing? Am I like the worst husband in the world?
You're not supporting your wife?
I am supporting. She's in chat. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hey, wait.
I
Hang on now. Hey now. Hey.
You misspelled it. That's it. It was a misspelling. It's a spelling error. It's in there.
It's it. Exclamation mark Bumblebug. It is. It's exclamation mark Bumblebug. Exclamation mark Bumblebug. There you go. Oh Jesus, Mary and Joseph. There. It's even on a timer. It's on a timer that it just comes out and says it. Oh my word!
You're saved.
Exactly.
You're saved.
I nearly got divorced. Oh my word!
Oh.
So here she is. This is what my wife makes. Completely self-taught as well.
That's awesome. I think that more people should be doing stuff like that.
And it's amazing how many people like yourself. You're saying like how you took upon yourself to make a change in your life. Don't just sit there playing games, actually making them. People who just never done any art, never done the 3D modeling before. Aquarius Max is another example. This is somebody who always loved art and dabbled in art, but never did really 3D modeling. And he started teaching himself how to use Blender. And now, in my opinion, is one of the best environment artists on the asset store, doing some really amazing AAA quality artwork. And he started by himself a few years back learning Blender from complete scratch.
That's all it takes. Anybody can do it. You just have to want to.
Exactly. You just got to get yourself out of bed. Take 1 foot out of bed, put it down on the ground, take that step, and that's it. You've already started on that journey.
And turn off YouTube and turn on the program that you need to use to make something. That's it.
Exactly. Or I would go one step further and say, leave YouTube on as long as it's my tutorials playing in the background, obviously.
Honestly, you know what? I love YouTube, and I work with YouTube on. I listen to people. Me, my brain goes a million miles an hour. So while I'm working, I kind of need to be absorbing something else. And if I'm not, I get antsy. So yeah, YouTube is good if you can ration yourself properly. Just don't go watching things and just staring at it.
Don't go off on that tangent. Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's like an acceptable level of what you should be watching while you're trying to be productive. And once you go off, yeah, there's no coming back.
Exactly, that's it. You've gone down there. You're not coming out of it. I love the fact that I've got people in the community who send me messages, like even on chat. They go, "I'm just listening to you while I work. You're always on in the background." Especially when I'm doing tutorials. Say, I watch your YouTube videos, and I listen to the audio only because it's a podcast, which is really sweet and lovely. I've got no idea why. But how can you absorb a tutorial when you're not looking at any of the writing on the screen?
So I actually do the same thing. I've listened to some of your content while I'm working. So when I actually do my real, not my arcade racer work, but my real work, when I'm a developer doing the freelance work, my mind is like focused on what I'm doing. And obviously, I don't want to be doing it. I'd rather be working on my project instead of somebody else's. So just listening to somebody talk about a subject that you're interested in is, in a way, calming, and it helps you get through what you actually have to do. That's me. I don't want to listen to the person who's gonna actually do a full tutorial. Like, no, I'm not gonna do a deep programming tutorial while I'm trying to work. I'm not gonna listen to that guy because he's gonna make me stop working and listen to him.
So basically, I love the fact this is my new slogan. That's going to be underneath the title from now on. It's going to say, "Messy Coder, I'll get you through your day." I get you through what you have to do, not what you want to do. I love it. Thank you, buddy. I'm so glad I'm there for you. It does make me chuckle. And however I can help you through your day, I'm more than willing to do it.
You know how many people are on YouTube now who, like, you're listening to their content, and then it goes on to the next video and they start sponsored by, and it's in their voice. So you're like, wait, this person is talking ads to me. I don't want to listen to that person. You don't do that. So that's like you're a normal person.
Yeah, I don't do that yet. Wait till I get the big bucks knocking on my door, and yeah, I'll sell out. Hashtag sell out. Don't worry. Well, my kids gotta eat.
At that point, you got to.
Exactly. The thing is, the most that comes through to some kind of sponsored content, if somebody like say, "I've got my asset, would you like to review it?" To which case, they, after one review, depending on what kind of person you are, you might not come back to me. So there's a few people much like yourself that they say, even if it's a bad review, as long as it's constructive and it's honest, like you do, that's all I care about. So I have had a few people that when they give me a free stuff, they're like, if it's bad, please don't review it. At which case I go, then I'm not gonna even look at it. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand that mentality, because that type of person is making something and they're selling it to somebody, and they don't want to hear the negative feedback.
Yeah.
So it's like they're in their own little world. So you have to wonder where that asset is going to be in a year. Me personally, I want to buy assets and support developers who are actually improving their products. I have no problem spending money on an asset if I can see that you're doing good stuff with it. But if you're the person who doesn't reply to reviews or something like that, or you don't respond to an email, if I tell you what I'm thinking and you don't care, then yeah, obviously you don't want that type of product.
I mean, Sam, you're saying most of the time I listen to you as a podcast, even when on Twitch, especially when you host interviews. That's pretty much what we do. I mean, I called it the podcast last time when we had we had Adam, we had Dennis from Map Magic, and we had Stephen from Bite the Bytes, World Creator, and we had Mad Maps on, and that was like, we called that the podcast, where it was all of us all together just chatting. But generally, this is what we do. It is a podcast. The normally when I do a review of an asset, of like sitting there doing it properly, if it's an art asset, it's a lot quicker. It's generally looking through all the art and then checking the polys and everything, the LODs and the textures and the UV mapping and things like that. But when it's code, when it's a kit, it takes me about 3 days, or even like it could take longer. I mean, I've had some that have taken longer, even art assets, like for the Sci-Fi Face-Off. So I had some that have taken 3 or 4 days of me sitting there reviewing, really analyzing the art, finding bugs, reporting them. So if that's about 3 days, I would say, then plus editing. Let's be generous and say 3 days including editing for a review. So that's 3 days of somebody's time, unpaid time, to check out your asset that he's come out with a long list of issues. If you
they don't want to hear anything negative.
Exactly. If you don't want to hear anything negative, I'm not going to waste my time. Because the whole point of it is so that everyone in chat doesn't have to spend their money on something just to find out. You watch these videos to go, I was about to buy that, but I really wanted to see what it was like firsthand, which is why we jump into it. And it's been great. Like with your asset, we jumped in and played about with the car, adding a car in, and we tweaked into, this is an issue, and we resolved it by working out what we'd done wrong. But only really by getting your hands dirty and showing somebody under the bonnet. You see what I did there? Under the bonnet, under the hood. Then people can see, is this asset worth their time? Should they purchase it or not? And if you're not going to let somebody see the dirty, only see the clean, then it's a lie.
Yeah, I think pretty soon, once I'm done with the development and documentation, I'm going to do video tutorials, and somebody will be able to watch the development process from download until like through complete customization through a series of tutorials.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like I don't believe that you should hide anything. In the old racing game template, I had an hour's worth of tutorials, so anybody who bought it, they were able to look at like an hour of me setting up content. And maybe that's why I didn't have as many support questions, because people knew what they were buying.
And I think that worked well for Adam on Gaia, because when he first started doing it, there was so many videos showing every little thing of how you can do stuff, so you didn't even need to buy it to see what it was like.
Yeah, he has like 50 tutorials on his product. Right. I think that's amazing. I think more publishers should do that. Talking
about publishers, we've got more people coming up on these live dev interviews. I'd love to have you back, Stephen, in chat, just so you can post your comments and questions. So
sure.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Come back in. You're part of the community now. Next week's live dev interview, we had somebody lined up. They're not able to make it, so I'm going to have to try and see who we can get in their place. So I'll update it on Twitter, and I'll put it on Discord as well to let everyone know who's going to be in chat next week. But for now, we are saying goodbye to one of the most fun assets I've played about with in a long time. It ain't cheap, but let's be honest. If you're going to be making a game ain't cheap. Making a game is serious business. Making a game is about making something that's published, that is quality, and that other people want to play. And right now, I could just click build and asset flip the hell out of this. Thank you so much, Mr. Turn the Game On. Whatever you want to call yourself.
anything. If it makes you feel better about the price, know that thousands of hours of development time and research.
You can honestly, and not just because you're on. Normally I'm like, this is too expensive, blah blah. This is going to be suck. But this is really polished. Really is.
The reason I set this price, it was a really tough decision when I picked the price. There's another asset on the store. It costs $500, and it's a traffic system. And I believe that my traffic system does the same thing that traffic system does, except theirs costs $500 and mine doesn't.
I've got that.
The only difference is that it comes with 3D models. So if you're just looking for the code, mine's half the price, and it actually comes with racing code too.
And also the progression, like, you know, you've leveled up, you've earned money, you've saved that on the profile and moved on.
Yeah. But that was definitely a hard decision for me to make, and I didn't want to set it that high, but honestly, I'm not making any money anymore on the store, so I figure this is the last chance. Whatever happens is going to happen, and hopefully it'll just stay on the store for a long time and nothing breaks it.
Well, I'm sure I'll find something to break later on, but until then, I'm having a lot of fun.
Very happy to hear that.
Fresh meat, Mr. Apple. Buddy, I'll catch you another time. I honestly will be catching you on Skype and Discord because I'm going to be bugging you with so many support questions. By the way, full transparency, I got gifted my own copy of this as well. So I'm a very lucky, thankful badger for that. So thank you to you for my free gift copy.
You are welcome.
Because let's be honest, there is no way I'll be able to afford a lot of these assets that we're playing about with, and now my kids are going to be able to get the little Mario game, although Lario and Luigi, as has been mentioned in chat. I'm going to stick it on the Google Play Store for $5 million.
No, put it for free so you could get some downloads and then put ads on it. You might actually make some money.
Oh my word. Alright, buddy, I'll catch you later.
Alright, Messi, thank you very much for having me on.
You
have a great night.
You too, mate.
Bye.
What a lovely bloke. Well, that was it for another live dev interview. I hope you had fun and enjoyed yourselves. You too can take part if you pop over every Fridays and Saturdays at orderws.twitch.tv/themessycoder, 9 PM GMT time. If you want to know what it is in your time zone, use Google. So don't forget to all of your friends and neighbours. If you do like it, click it. Till next time. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.